Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Harness Tube. We're glad that you could be with us tonight and be a part of the broadcast and be here as we are bringing you harness racing again from Decatur, Illinois, the Macon County Fair. It's the Illinois Stakes going on tonight. A big purse tonight for racing. Kurt Becker's going to be the track announcer. We'll also have some sideline announcing for you today, and we're thankful for that. But we wanted to let you know things are going well here. We believe we've got everything set up to give a good broadcast today, so we're thankful for that. So with that, we're going to take a break here and let one of our sponsors have some time.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Back with you on BC Hornet Sports. Sorry, I goofed up. Ed TV. Back to Harness Tube tonight on the broadcast for you from Decatur, Illinois. Want to let you know about some upcoming events that we've got going on here. We'll be back here on Saturday for a race at post time is 11 o'clock in the morning. And then we've added a couple June 21st and I think the 26th or two that will be added to the schedule. I can't give you the dates on that and the places, but a couple of fair and harness racing dates have been added. Rushville the 29th of June, and then we full schedule in July. And believe me, when you take a look, when we get going in August, we're going to be busy for about the first 8 days or 10 days in August. And so we're happy with that. And then also, we're going to have a horse auction for you on Labor Day for you. But those are the things coming forward. We'll be back after these messages.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Back with you on HarnessTube.com. Harness Tube. We've got a broadcast for you tonight from Macon. I want to thank our generous donors out there that have helped make the broadcast available to you. And again, this is free on YouTube thanks to our donors and sponsors. If you'd like to become a donor or sponsor to keep this free, we encourage you to help us out that way. If you want to donate, you can go to Venmo at Harness Tube or PayPal at Harness Tube. Or if you're like to send the old-fashioned check, you can send that to David Brink, P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, Illinois, 62353. Also, if you want to advertise with us, you can go to our Facebook page on Harness Tube and send David a message. You can send us a message through YouTube on Harness Tube IL. It's Harness Tube like Illinois, IL. And then, or send him an email, harnesstube@gmail.com, harnesstube@gmail.com. or give him a call at 312-772-5122. That's 312-772-5122. Also, we'll encourage you to send an email to the harnesstube at gmail account while it's going on. We'd like to hear from you as far as the broadcast is concerned and hear what's going on with those things. And if you can give us a um, email at harnesstube at gmail, we'll maybe announce your name over the air. Tell us about where you're watching the broadcast from, maybe a trainer, horse, or maybe owner, or how about a driver that you're interested in. And we're interested in hearing from that. And I threw one out last night. Maybe you can send your favorite fair food to us also, of what you like to eat when you're at the fair. But we've got the first race coming up at 4 o'clock. We're about 14 minutes from post time here. And so we'll take a break. I'll leave side by side to let you watch some of the horses warming up for this first race.
Coming up just 13 minutes until post time for the first race on the Downstate Classic card, the richest day of Illinois County Fair racing ever, with purses totaling over $76,000. We told you there are not many program changes. Just a reminder, if you do not have a track program, programs and pick-a-winner entry forms are available at the bar below the grandstand. The bar below the grandstand. Programs are free, and so are those pick-a-winner entry forms. There are no scratches to report at this time. No scratches on this program this evening. We can tell you there is a driver change in the first race. On number 1, Zena Lou, make the driver Wyatt Avenetti. That's the first race. Number 1, Zena Lou, Wyatt Avenetti. Only other change to report, we have to go all the way to race 6. And in race 6, there's a driver change on number 1, Some Dancing Star. That'll be Richard Finn. That's race 6. Driver change on the 1, Some Dancing Star. Make the driver Richard Finn. A big day and a big evening here at the Macon County Fair. This is the opening day of the fair. This reminder that this is the 167th annual fair here in Macon County. Our thanks to Chip McNeil Jazz, performing near the grandstand until 5 p.m. Thanks again to the volunteers from Warrensburg-Latham School District for their assistance with parking cars here this evening. A reminder, the racetrack here is now named in honor of longtime Macon County Fair volunteer and longtime horseman Don Collins. 60 years of service to this fair, and the infield judges stand and press box named in honor of past President Dallas Beyer. Our thanks to Debbie's Diner and the Macon County Fair Association for providing the free meal for the owners, trainers, drivers, and caretakers in the stable area. And don't forget, we not only have racing here today, but coming up a little bit later on at the Decatur building, it'll be the Queen Pageant at 7 p.m. And a pretty special situation this year for the Queen Pageant, because young ladies not only from Macon County but nearby Piatt County will be eligible to participate this year. Our own Evan Hall, he's not only the president of the Macon County Fair Board, but president of the Downstate Classic, and he is our superintendent of speed. I know a lot of hard work has been put into making this day possible by Evan and the entire board, and we do appreciate that very much. Stand by, we'll have our pre-race ceremonies in just a moment, and very shortly we'll call the field to the track for race 1. Good to have Tina Schrock here this evening, the Secretary-Treasurer of the Midwestern Illinois Racing Association. Tina, thanks for delivering that program from Macon County last night. I know that my niece will appreciate that very, very much, as a horse named for her picked up a victory at Carlinville, and they had a nice program at Carlinville last night. A lot of fun to follow those races on Harness Tube. Folks, don't forget, if you've got friends who could not be here in person, you might want to call them or send them a text and tell them they can still follow the racing action here today on Harness Tube. That is a brand new venture that has been started by David Brink along with Steve Surratt out of Brown County and Mount Sterling, and they are here on site this evening to bring you the action. All you have to do, just go to Facebook. You'll enter Harness Tube in the search field. You can find their Facebook page, or just go straight to YouTube. If you go to youtube.com, in the search field, enter Harness Tube. That is all one word, Harness Tube, with a capital H and a capital T. And you can follow all the racing live from the Downstate Classic.
Steve Surratt back with you on the broadcast here tonight at Harness Tube. As you heard Kurt Becker talk about us there, as we're getting ready for race one. We're just about 8 minutes from post time. We'll have the national anthem and some pre-things done here. David Brink alongside me tonight doesn't need to be in the barn, so he may be picking up a microphone every now and then to have a few words for us. We tried to do that with one microphone last night. We'll try to do it a better job with it with two microphones. Again, if you know somebody that likes harness racing, tell you what, take your computer to their house. Invite them over to your house. Bring them into the house. Have a fun night. Make a few side wagers on the race. But this is what it's here for is, you know, maybe we've got some elderly people or people that maybe this is too far of a distance to drive from. This is what this is made for you. If you're in the Decatur area and you're watching, you're missing a huge opportunity to see harness racing in person. And if you don't understand it, guess what? The first time I watched it, I didn't understand it, and I grew to like it and grew to know some of the people around that. And that's really a plus when you start noting some of the drivers, some of the trainers, owners. Some of you may just like the horses. We thought there was a really nice maroon colored horse last night. Unfortunately, looks are not everything. The horse may look good, but it may not be a winner. I think it finished 5 out of 5 last night in the race that it was in. But
attention at the barns. Horsemen come to the track with the first race, the first division of the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly trot. We're looking for Zena Lou, E.L. Bray Bray, Lou Sangreal, and Dawn of Creation for a purse of just over $8,200. Horsemen come to the track for the first race. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of the Downstate Classic Board of Directors and on behalf of the Macon County Fair Board and on behalf of Decatur Convention and Visitors Bureau, welcome to the Downstate Classic, which returns to the Macon County Fair for the first time in 10 years. Good to have you with us. We'll be meeting the starters for the first race in just a moment. At this time, we ask that those who are able would please rise in tribute to our national anthem. the Macon County Fair, and we welcome our seniors as it is Senior Citizen Day at the fair. Harness racing later on at the Decatur building. It's the Queen Pageant. It's going to be a fun way to kick off the 167th annual Macon County Fair. And again, if you have friends that are not able to attend, shoot them a text or give them a call. Let them know that they can follow the action live on Harness Tube. Just go to youtube.com and in the search field enter Harness Tube and you can watch via their all-new channel. First race to get us started on this record-breaking program. Again, richest day of county fair racing ever in Illinois. Combined purses of over $76,000. A reminder, in the first race, the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly trot, the first division. Wyatt Avenetti is the driver of the one, Xena Lou. Contrary to the program, number one, Xena Lou, the driver is Wyatt Avenetti. Looking for a field of four, again, come to the track horseman with that first race. Once again, we remind those of you in the stands that track programs and pick a winner entry forms are available below the grandstand at the grandstand bar, and we will be playing pick a winner for $5 after each and every race here today, and those prizes can also be claimed at the vendor area below the grandstand. All of the trophies are lined up and on display down trackside. In fact, a number of photographers right now are taking the opportunity to grab some pictures. Good to have everyone with us here in attendance who represent the media this evening, as this is a significant day for the Macon County Fair. Again, this is where the Downstate Classic began back in 1992. It was held here on an annual basis all the way through 2013, and then racing was suspended from 2014 through 2018. Racing returned here 4 years ago, and simply amazing to see what this fair has been able to do to not only bring harness racing back, but in just a very short period of time after bringing the program back, having the richest day of Illinois County Fair harness racing ever. I think if you had told most of the horsemen, if you had said that to them back in 2018, hey, by 2023, racing's going to be at the fair again and they're going to have a record-setting day, I don't think they would have believed it. But it's just amazing the amount of work that's gone into it, and we appreciate everyone who has had a hand in that happening. Good to have you with us, folks. You will indeed be seeing some of the finest Illinois-bred 3-year-old trotters and pacers statewide that have converged here on this fairgrounds. So much history going back to the days of the Illinois Stallion Stakes. Some of you might be old enough to remember when Decatur here at Macon County hosted the Stallion Stakes for several years, and now bringing the Downstate Classic back home to Macon County, just about set to go racing. last horse is coming to the track. As we speak, we're ready to get started with the Downstate Classic. Starters are out. Getting ready to meet the starters for the first of our 10 races. Great to have you with us, folks, on a picture-perfect late afternoon, early evening here at the Macon County Fair for the Downstate Classic. The young lady on horseback down trackside, down toward the first turn into the home stretch, that is Cassidy Tarter of Canton. She is our parade marshal. Her horse is named Lena, registered with the American Quarter Horse Association. Congratulations to Cassidy, just graduated vet school at the University of Illinois. So we wish Cassidy Tarter all the best, and good to have her with us as she gets ready to parade the field of the post. A reminder, Wyatt Avenatti drives number 1, Xena Lou. The stakes record is 2:01 flat for the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly trot. And let's meet the starters for the first race for a purse of $8,279. Number 1 is Xena Lou, owned by the Flacco family farms of Alexis, of Dr. Richard and Arlene Flacco, and Rick and Tabby Flacco. The trainer, Steve Searle. The driver is Wyatt Avenatti. Number 2 is E.L. Bray Bray, owned by Don and Sherry Huddleston of Kincaid, trained by Roshan Trigg, the driver, Jamaica Patton. Number 3, Lou Sangreal, owned by Flacco family farms, trained by Steve Searle, the driver, Travis Siekman. And number 4, Dawn of Creation, owned by All Right Racing LLC of Morton, Illinois, of Craig and Jordan Wright and Bill and Maddie Wright, owned also by Mike Brink of Springfield. Mike is the trainer, and Casey Leonard from up at Harvard, Illinois. He is in the race bike visiting us here today at the Macon County Fair. Getting ready to go to the post for the first race. Get those pick a winner entry slips turned in, $5 after each race.
Back with you on Harness Tube, and we're glad that you could join us tonight and be a part of it. Steve Surratt, David Brink, Lisa Surratt bringing in camera coverage. And folks, we talk about this every place we go to is a unique setup. We've never been there before. And so we've had our ups and downs tonight. I just knocked the camera link off the table, and we lost the camera for a little bit. But we're glad that you could be with us tonight. The camera view is a ground level camera view, and there's going to be some obstacles. And David, pull your mic down. We run into that. Every place is going to be unique where we have that camera set up, right?
Absolutely. You know, everywhere you go, what you have as far as infrastructure and visibility, and even a platform to set up on, and as far as our end, being in the judges' stand, you have to have space to set up a board and all the equipment. So everywhere you go, you're constantly thinking about what could possibly go wrong.
As soon as we get done with one race, and even before that race, we're looking at how we're going to set up at this next track, seeing if anybody can help us out. And we're literally using a wireless link for the camera across.
They are post to the gates rolling. Our official starter here at the Macon County Fair this evening is Mitch Titus. Jerry Young is at the steering wheel of that Pontiac starting gate with the wings extended to pick up the field for the first race. 2 drivers in this race are competing in the Downstate Classic for the first time in their careers. Wyatt Avenatti, who drives number 1, Xena Lou, and Casey Leonard, who drives the 4, Dawn of Creation. Those 2 drivers have won a lot of races and a lot of major races in Illinois. Believe it or not, they have never driven in the Downstate Classic until here this evening. Jamaica Patton, Travis Siekman, 2 of the winningest drivers in recent Downstate Classic history. It's been a long time coming. It's been 10 years since we've been able to say this, folks. Welcome to the Macon County Fair for the Downstate Classic. Here they come to get us started. Down to the wire, they are off and trotting, and problems for Lou Sangreal, who's off stride. Lou Sangreal made a break at the start. There goes E.L. Bray Bray out for the early lead. Dawn of Creation gets away in second. And in fact, now there's problems for E.L. Bray Bray, who broke stride midway on the first turn. So E.L. Bray Bray has made a break, and Lou Sangreal has made a break, and that means Dawn of Creation is going to benefit and move up for the lead, and Xena Lou will go second. A length and a half separates the top 2 as they go toward the quarter-mile mark. And E.L. Bray Bray is closing the gap gap now, catching up to those first two, a much closer third, a gap of 3 more lengths back to Lou Sangreal, who is last of the 4 as they move on by the quarter. 35 and 2 for that opening quarter, 35 and 2/5 seconds, a leisurely tempo, but of course no one to really press Dawn of Creation, so Casey Leonard is going to make sure to measure those fractions carefully with that filly until somebody does come forward to put her to the test. Dawn of Creation leads it coming down to the half. Each race, of course, 1 mile in distance, 2 laps, 2 circuits around this half-mile racetrack. Halfway home in the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly trot first division. Dawn of Creation leading Xena Lou by a length, E.L. Bray Bray, and then Lou Sangreal, who is last of the 4 as they head back to the east end of the course. 107 and 2/5 was the time for the first half mile. 107 and 2. It is Dawn of Creation who shows the way. Dawn of Creation on top by a length and a half. Xena Lou is still right there second. The tempo quickens now. E.L. Bray Bray comes to the outside third, and now Xena Lou comes to the outside and is just off the leader's flank. And Lou Sangreal's right there with the rest. She's along the inside lane fourth, 2 lengths off the lead. Dawn of Creation versus Xena Lou right now for the top spot. 139 and 3 for the 3 quarters, 139 and 3. E.L. Bray Bray made a break on the final turn. Battle for the lead, top of the stretch. Dawn of Creation to the inside, Xena Lou to the outside. Lou Sangreal is third behind that pair. It is Dawn of Creation with a narrow lead. Xena Lou is still trying. Dawn of Creation coming down to the wire. Xena Lou makes a break in deep stretch. Dawn of Creation wins the Downstate Classic opener. Dawn of Creation won it by 3 lengths on the line for Casey Leonard. Lou Sangreal came back to be second. Xena Lou, costly break in deep stretch, had to settle for third. And E.L. Bray Bray was across the line in the 4th position. 2:09 and 2 was the time for the mile. That's 2 minutes, 9 and 2/5 seconds. 2:09 and 2 will meet the winner, Dawn of Creation, in just a moment. Now returning to get us started here this evening, the first winner of the Downstate Classic program here at the 2023 Macon County Fair. How about a hand for number 4, Dawn of Creation? Casey Leonard has made the trip here from his home up in Harvard, Illinois. His wife, Maureen, has joined him here this evening. It was great to chat with both of them before the races. Congratulations to co-owner and trainer Mike Brink, who's in the red and white cap, chatting with Casey down trackside. Mike bases his stable at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. And congratulations to the owners, All Right Racing LLC of Morton, Bill and Maddie Wright and Craig and Jordan Wright. Good to see the Wright family with us here this evening. Credit Creation, the sire of this winning 3-year-old filly out of I Like Her Charm by I Look Like My Mom. Casey Leonard, one of the most accomplished drivers in Illinois. First drive ever in the Downstate Classic. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Casey Leonard.
Casey, pretty exciting time there. Your first time you're driving in a Downstate Classic. I bet you're pretty excited to get the win, huh?
Yeah, no, I drove her a lot last year, and Mike's done a great job. I'm really fortunate I get to drive for the best trainers in the state, so it makes my job a lot easier.
Well, that is fantastic. It's good to see you back here today. It's fantastic. You're driving in this Downstate Classic. Are you coming up later again today? What's your next race?
Yeah, I think I'm in the majority of the Downstate Classics. I think I got a race off No, this is my first time here. It's a great track. It's a nice facility. I'm just happy to be here.
That's excellent. Well, we know you got to go get ready for the next one. Casey, thanks a lot. Good luck in the rest of the day.
And thank you, Scott. That is Casey Leonard, our winning driver here today. And we talked to Casey before the races, and we were chatting with him about the fact that his father, Terry Leonard, and his late uncle, Gary, used to come to Decatur years ago to race in the Illinois Stallion Stakes back in the late 1970s and early 1980s. So Casey, with a very deep family connection to this fair, makes his first visit ever to this fair today and his first time to drive in a downstate classic. Here is the entire order of finish from that first race. From the top, Zena Lou finished 3, E.L. Bray Bray was 4, Lou Sangreal was the runner-up, and Dawn of Creation was the winner. The opening quarter, 35 and 2. The first half mile, 107 and 2. 3/4, 139 and 3/5. The time for the mile, 209 and 2. It reads down 3-4-2-1. Congratulations to winning breeder Timothy Roque, who, by the way, has brought that sire, Credit Creation, back to Illinois. That filly's daddy left the state for a couple of years and went out to Pennsylvania to stand at stud. And now Timothy Roque and his family have brought Credit Creation back to the stallion ranks in Illinois. We'll give you the name of our first pick-a-winner draw winner in just a moment. Looking ahead to race 2, no changes, second race. Horsemen, come to the track, please, with that second division 3-year-old filly trot.
Back with you, David Brink, Steve Surratt, back with you on Harness Tube. We got our first race finished today, and a big win for Dawn of Creation. Casey Leonard, the driver with that. Mike Brink, the trainer. And David, what other information can you give us about that horse?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Perfect. Dawn of Creation, I've always kind of liked this filly. When Kurt just said that Credit Creation was coming back to the state, it kind of piqued my interest. I like that horse a lot, and you know what? This one I've kind of followed pretty close. You know, made almost $50,000. You know, just a good, solid trotter, and Casey did a great job out there and kind of controlled the race the way you would expect, and kind of kept everything in hand when they came at him.
And so a great win there. And the prize money for that race was how much?
That was the first downstate. We were going for $8,279 the purse for that first race.
Yeah, and if you understand how this works, folks, this is tell people how does the purse work, David?
So the purse is paid to the top 5 finishers, and the way it goes is you
Congratulations, Barb Carter. Barb has won the first pick-a-winner draw of the program. Congratulations, Barb. A reminder, the $5 prize can be picked up at the grandstand bar in the vendor area just below the amphitheater.
That purse breakdown to the top 5 finishers, the winner gets 50%, followed by second place at 25, third at 12, I think, and then 8-5 the last 4th and 5th finishers, and that's kind of how the money gets divvied out.
Okay. All right, but if you go to a lot of county fairs, you'll notice that usually you're in that one better than 1,000, but less than 3,000 range in a lot of horses. We got a lot of horses coming downstate to race in this, actually from Chicago, right?
Absolutely. The Downstate Classic always brings horses from all over the state to Southern Illinois, and it offers great purses and attracts some of the best drivers and trainers from across the state or Midwest, and yeah, it's a separate fund. The downstate is a separate fund, that kind of program you'd have to pay into to get your horse eligible. But once you do that, then you could come race for these big purses. Maybe the other fairs would be a kind of a Department of Ag, or the local racing association would partially fund that, and you end up with smaller purses than this close to 10,000 a race I think we're looking at.
And the other question people might have is, okay, how does a horse end up at Hawthorne? How do you end up there? What do you got to do to get there?
Lots and lots of laps around the track. There's nothing that will replace just experience. These horses need to go out there and learn kind of their craft, learn how to move their bodies. Um, but traditionally, what we would do from our stable is we would start at the county fairs and get a horse kind of sharpened up. And by the end of the year, we would hope that we would have a qualifying time on our line. What that qualifying time means is there's certain standards you have to meet to race at parimutuel tracks for gambling purposes. So we hope we have a good line by the end of the year to go up there and qualify and kind of go for some of these big purses against some of the best of the best. But if you can't, you can always sneak up there, and they hold qualifier races where they have a judge and everybody there, and they give you an opportunity to try to qualify.
Now, the state fair is a whole different thing. That's horses from all over the state.
Absolutely.
And it's more like the county fair, only on a bigger scale with more horses from more places, correct?
Yeah, the state fair programs are run by Ag and the state fairs themselves, the Coin and Springfield, and those draw people.
Race 2 starters are out.
We'll finish that thought after this race.
Good to have the jazz stylings of Chip McNeil Jazz performing here near the grandstand until 5 o'clock this evening, just part of the festivities for this Downstate Classic card at the Macon County Fair.
She get a picture of the
Great to have
trophy.
our audience watching online via our friends at Harness Tube as well. Steve Surratt, David Brink anchoring that broadcast. There are no changes in race 2 this evening, no scratches, no driver changes in this second division of the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly trot. Once again, the purse, $8,279. Cassidy Tarter picks up the field, and they parade to the post. Let's go ahead and meet those starters. Number 1 is Mariah Lou. Mariah Lou was a Downstate Classic winner as a 2-year-old at the Logan County Fair at Lincoln last year, owned by the Flacco family farms of Alexis, trained by Steve Searle, the driver, Wyatt Avenatti. Number 2, Bell Boots, is owned by Tony Bell of Windsor, trained and driven by Matt Avenatti of Crispin. So you've got the brothers Avenatti, Wyatt and Matt, driving horses 1 and 2, respectively. Number 3 is Luling City, owned, trained, and driven by Jerome Daniels out of Springfield. And number 4, Daisy's Duchess. She was a Downstate Classic winner last year at the Logan County Fair. Daisy's Duchess, owned by Stafford Code and Spillum of East Windsor, New Jersey. Steve Searle of Grant Park, Illinois. James Nellinger of Peoria. Mike Buzzard of Altamont, trained by Steve Searle, the driver Casey Leonard, as Casey tries to go back-to-back to start the card here this evening. They'll be at the post in a moment. Thanks to our friend Emma Schrock, a student at the University of Illinois and a native of Carrollton over in the western part of the state. She has been kind enough to step in and help out with photo finish responsibilities here this evening. So Emma, thank you. Right now they are at the post. The gate is rolling for race 2, the second division of the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly trot. Getting ready to go here. Bell Boots, number 2, is owned by Tony Bell of Windsor. Now, Tony has her own connection to racing in Macon County. Not just through harness racing, not just through the Downstate Classic, but Tony Bell's husband, Barry, came out of retirement recently and is back running a dirt late model stock car at Macon Speedway. So yeah, if you ever take in the stock car races at the legendary Macon Speedway, talk about a track with history dating back to the 1940s, you might see Barry Bell, Tony's husband, out there running that dirt late model. Here they come, race 2 for the Downstate Classic. They are off and trotting. There goes Mariah Lou out for the lead. Bell Boots gets away in the second position. Daisy's Duchess fires out fast from the far outside and goes up and grabs the lead now. Midway on the first turn, Luling City is away fourth, but right there with the rest. Everybody stays on the trot all the way around that first turn and heading on to the backstretch. Daisy's Duchess has made the top and leads it by 2.5 lengths up the back straightaway for Casey Leonard. Mariah Lou goes second. There's Luling City. She is still toward the outside, moving up from fourth to third to second, less than a length off the lead now. Bell Boots has shuffled back into the last position as they head on past the quarter-mile mark. Opening quarter, 31 and 4/5 seconds for that first quarter. Now Luling City is trying to find an opening along the rail. Jerome Daniels looks over to his left and he saw a gap starting to open up between the first and third place horse, and now he's able to give Luling City a breather. She had a tough opening 3/8. She was parked every step of it, and the leader is Daisy's Duchess. Daisy's Duchess leading for Casey Leonard by 1.5 lengths. Luling City second a length. Mariah Lou third and Bell Boots fourth. Single file formation as they march back into the east turn. 102 and 2 for the first half mile. 102 and 2/5. Onto the backstretch they go. Daisy's Duchess is the leader. She was a winner of a division of the Downstate Classic a year ago at the Logan County Fair in Lincoln, and she leads here in Macon County in these 3-year-old divisions here tonight and opens back up on a 2-length lead. Luling City will go second. Mariah Lou is third, and Bell Boots is last of the 4 as they work their way toward the west end of the course with Daisy's Duchess, the one to catch, still leading it by 2 lengths. 1:34, the time at the 3/4, 1 minute 34 seconds. Luling City has not given up yet. In fact, here she comes now, but still 1.5 lengths separate the top 2 in the final 8th mile. So Daisy's Duchess leads it. Luling City going to come after her one more time. And these two are side by side. Luling City from the outside, Daisy's Duchess on the inside. This will be closed. Luling City gets up by a neck. Luling City in the final strides gets up by a neck over Daisy's Duchess. Gap of 6 more lengths back to Mariah Lou in third, and 3 back of her. Bell Boots was fourth. 2:04 flat was the time for the 1 mile distance. 2 minutes, 4 seconds flat. Your winner, Luling City, number 3.
Good finish of that race, David, as a pretty exciting race for the second race of the day. I mean, not as exciting as a dead heat like we had last night, but it's really exciting. Okay, yeah, I don't have you up, do I?
That helps. No, that was a great race.
Folks, Luling City went a tough trip early on. She was parked. And when horsemen say a horse is parked, that means the horse is traveling outward from the inside lane and cannot save ground around the turns. Well, Luling City, she went the long way around both the first and second turn on that first lap around, and then Jerome Daniels gave her a breather coming to the half, and she still manages to get up for the victory by a narrow margin. How about a hand for number 3, Luling City? There's our own Evan Hall along with Tina Schrock presenting the blanket, the ceremonial blanket for photo purposes in the winner's circle. And we'll see if Scott Beal can grab a word real quickly with our winning driver, Jerome Daniels.
Jerome, that was a tough trip. You were in second most of the way. What were you thinking there? You going to think you're going to make the move at the end? Was she tired?
Nah, she wasn't tired. She's the kind, she liked to come off cover like that down the lane, but I had to try to use them to get a spot around there, so that's what I did, and I got a good spot.
Yeah, you were stuck out. As Kurt said, you were parked out pretty well a large portion of the race, but you made the move when it counted.
Oh, yeah, the right one.
That's exactly right. Well, Jerome, good luck. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jerome, and thank you, Scott. Jerome Daniels, who bases his stable in Springfield at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. Luling City winning for the 7th time in her career. She's a 3-year-old filly by Desjarbro. Out of It's Just a Fling by Balanced Image, bred by Fairmeadow Farm of the late Carl Becker of Altamont. Judge, are we official here? Thank you, Randy Callahan, our presiding judge. He says we are official for race 2. So here's the full field rundown. From the top of the page, Mariah Lou finished 3. Bell Boots finished 4. Luling City, the winner, and Daisy's Duchess was the runner-up. They got the quarter in 31 and 4, the half in 102 and 2. 3 quarters in 134 flat, and the time for the mile was 2:04 flat. It reads down 3, 4, 1, 2. Race 3, now we go to the 3-year-old colt and gelding trot, the first of 2 divisions. Again, the purse $8,279. No changes in the third event. Waiting for Jammin' High, Sweet Baby Jacob, Luz Andiamo, and Goomster. Number 4, Goomster, the reigning champion, Illinois-bred, 2-year-old trotting colt or gelding from last season. He did not race in the Downstate Classic last year. Did not race last year at 2 in the Downstate Classic. We'll talk more about that as the horses work their way onto the racetrack. But Goomster did win the Illinois State Fair at Springfield, and Goomster did win on the Night of Champions up at Hawthorne and became an Illinois divisional champion last season. Number 1, Jammin' High, folks. That is a colt who won the Downstate Classic last year by 9 lengths. Number 1, Jammin' High, a Downstate Classic winner last year by a 9-length margin. Horsemen, come to the track, race 3.
Wanted to talk about our upcoming events coming up. Next will be Saturday. We'll be here in Decatur for an 11 o'clock post time. Then the 21st, can you remember where we're at the 21st?
The 21st, I want to say, I had to look at my calendar. That sounds like it's the Cambridge date.
Yes, that is Cambridge.
And Cambridge is still, we've got the price out there, and we're trying to stir up some money. So if you know Dave Brooks, go ahead and give him a call. He's trying to get things organized to get us up there in Cambridge for sure. But then we also did add
26th.
The 26th, absolutely. And we're going down to Martinsville to watch the show down there with Tim Wilson Jr. and Kurt Becker, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and then, follow us from there. As you can see, the schedule is pretty good. How can you help us out? How can you make sure that we make the county fair circuit as much as we can? There's only 3 of us, so it's kind of hard. Some dates we can't do. But you can go to Harness Tube and you can advertise with us. You go to the Facebook page. Just do Harness Tube on Facebook. You'll find us there. Give David Brink a private message there. Or send him an email at harnesstube@gmail.com. Or if you like picking up the phone and talking and say, hey, tell me what your plan is. What's this all about? Explain it to me. What's it going to cost me? You can call him at 312-772-5122. That's 312-772-5122, or email at harnesstube.com. Don't forget to subscribe. So like, subscribe, or follow, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now and you haven't subscribed, you need to do that. Number 1, it does things for us eventually with YouTube. But the more subscribers that we get, opens some doors for us. But also with that, gives you notifications if you get an account with them, when we're on the air and so forth. And so we want you to have that. You can go to YouTube at HarnessTubeIL, HarnessTubeIL on YouTube, or Facebook to follow or like us on at HarnessTube.
Steve, can I add to that real quick?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Don Huddleston, our pick a winner Victor for race 2, Don Huddleston, $5. Claim it below the grandstand.
Part of the genius of liking, subscribing, following everything that's available is, the way technology works nowadays, we need all those numbers pumped into the algorithm to get our net spread further. If we want to try to get some new fans in this sport and try to get some people watching and caring about county fair horse racing, we got to get to the numbers somehow. So if we get our group up and it reaches out so many beyond it, it's going to kind of exponentially grow. And if we just don't like or subscribe, then that doesn't help us a whole lot.
All right, with that, we'll talk about one of our advertisers here. We'll be back in a moment.
Harness racing's leading marketplace with over 13,000. Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
We want to thank our volunteers that have, before we got started, did a lot of Facebook and YouTube and things out there. David's getting his headset on here. But we want to thank all of the people that have done that prior to this and actually help get us to this point.
Absolutely. This was a group effort. This community exists, with or without Harness Tube. And everyone here on the screen involved jumped in and answered the call. And there was, the group chats and whatnot, making sure everyone was covered, all the fairs were covered to get, the races to the owners and trainers and people who couldn't make it. And I tell you what, it was amazing how much people were willing to drive across the state and to stand in a hot grandstand with their phone in their hands, for nothing or next to nothing. So we want to thank everybody sincerely.
And then out there is the Midwest Illinois Racing Association. That's for Western Illinois. And then there's a different association over here that help with things. And so we want to acknowledge the races that are going to be, as the Midwestern Illinois Racing Association is helping put us on.
The track is very busy. Those of you especially here on site in the grandstand can see there's a lot of activity on the racetrack. We've got 10 races. We're just now getting ready for race 3, so a lot of horsemen are taking the opportunity between races to get horses warmed up for later races on the card. One of those horsemen is Casey Leonard. He is warming up a horse right now on the racetrack, and he has a drive scheduled for this third race. So that's the only reason we haven't called the field to the post just yet for the third race. And to be clear, we fully understand the horsemen, they've got their hands full this evening. It's a good problem to have. It's good to be busy in the horse business. So we understand that. And as soon as Casey is finished up with the warm-up mile and he's ready to climb aboard the race bike to drive Sweet Baby Jacob, we'll be ready to go here in race 3.
Back with that again, David. We want to talk about one other thing I'll throw up on the screen really quick here as we switch slides. And that's, hey, from the backstretch. The backstretch, you can be from the backstretch here or down in the corner in turn 4. There's a group of people down there watching this race in the shade down there, or from your sofa or your couch, whatever you're watching from. But hey, send us an email, harnesstube@gmail.com. Tell us where you're watching from, maybe who your favorite driver, trainer, or horse is, or hey, I'm throwing this out there. Nobody has given it to me. What's your favorite fair food at what fair? Let us know what that is. We'd love to. Again, harnesstube@gmail.com. We'll give you a shout over the air with that.
And I tell you what, Steve, I actually had a couple come in earlier today. We've got one from Charles Henson, and we have Rob Grismore wanting his donuts somewhere up north. I don't know.
Donuts?
He wants, yes.
He wants us to bring fair donuts?
He wants me to bring him donuts. It's been going on for I don't know how long.
The little fair donuts or just any donuts?
I owe him donuts, and it's been probably 3 years.
Well, the one thing I want to tell Rob is that I have found out donuts are the only food that retake their shape after you eat them. And so if you eat too many donuts, you start looking like a donut around the middle.
It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah, yeah. Some people think it's an inner tube, but it's not. It's a donut that's retaking its shape. We're getting ready to race here. We'll get back with trackside here.
Over at the stable area, just off the far turn at the west end of the racetrack, Casey Leonard getting ready to climb aboard the race bike and bring Sweet Baby Jacob to the track, and then we'll be set to go here for this third race. You know, Sweet Baby Jacob is the horse that a year ago raced as a 2-year-old on Downstate Classic Day at the Logan County Fair, but not in the Downstate Classic. They had a race at the end of the day, which was not a Downstate Classic race. It was a condition written to give young trotters a chance to get some racing experience, and Sweet Baby Jacob went out and won by 22 lengths that day at the Logan County Fair. Trotted a mile in 2:10 which would have been good enough to at least get a check had he been in the Downstate Classic. So let's see what he can do today now that he is at age 3 this year, ready to go in the Downstate Classic. Starters are out. Horses are on the track for race 3 for a purse of $8,200, $8,279 to be precise. First of 2 divisions for the Downstate Classic 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Trot. The stakes record in the Downstate Classic for this particular classification belongs to Powerful Position, who trotted a mile in 2 minutes flat here at Decatur back in 2011. So, horses are on the track, and we will take a look at the starting lineup for race 3 here in just a moment. And we will go ahead and form a parade to the post. Thank you to Casey Tarter, who has patiently awaited down there near the first turn and now comes past the stands aboard her quarter horse, Lena. And let's meet those starters for race 3. Number 1, Jammin' High, was a winner as a 2-year-old in the Downstate Classic at Lincoln last year, owned by Ron Knupp of Anna. The trainer is Roshan Trigg, and the driver is Jamal Denson. Number 2, Sweet Baby Jacob, owned by Mike Brink of Springfield, Dr. Robert Lacey of Nokomis, Jeffrey Scott Clausen of Macomb, trained by Mike Brink, and the driver Casey Leonard. Number 3, Luz Andiamo, owned by the Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi, trained by Roshan, the driver J.D. Lewis. And number 4, Goomster, named the top Illinois-bred 2-year-old trotting colt or gelding for 2022. Won the Illinois State Fair and won the Night of Champions race at Hawthorne near Chicago. Owned, trained, and driven by Dennis Gardner of West Salem. We told you Goomster did not race in the Downstate Classic last year. The reason was, you might recall, there were stakes races taking place that same weekend up at Hawthorne in Chicago. The racing schedule was different last year. So you had a pari-mutuel meet going on in Chicago throughout the summer at the same time we were racing at the fairs. So sometimes these horsemen had to make some tough decisions. Dennis Gardner went to Chicago with Goomster and won a $50,000 race on that same weekend as the Downstate Classic. This year, they don't go racing at Hawthorne for the harness horses until we get to September. So a different schedule, that allows more folks the chance to get out to the fairs this summer, and we'll see how Goomster does in just a moment. They are at the post, the gates rolling. Again, our starter this evening is Mitch Titus, a native of Charleston, Illinois, over in Coles County. Dennis Gardner, the man who owns, trains, and drives Goomster. Dennis has raced a lot of horses in the Downstate Classic over the years, always with success. Seems like he's always first, second, or third, but a quick look at the record books, we believe it has been 25 years since he last won a Downstate Classic race. Difficult to believe because he's had so many that have been so close since then. But Dennis Gardner trying to end a 25-year drought in the Downstate Classic. Here they come. Let's see if Goomster can get it done or if one of these other trotters goes to the winner's circle. Ready to go, race 3. Off and trotting they go. Jammin' High goes out for the early lead. A beautiful start. All 4 trotters lined up and on the gate. Sweet Baby Jacob gets away in second. Luz Andiamo is away third and moves 3 wide. Around the first turn, Goomster very carefully just going to be patient here in the early going and let the traffic sort itself out as they go on to the back stretch. It's still double wide for the lead. Luz Andiamo, Italian for let's go. Luz Andiamo is doing just that. J.D. Lewis says let's go, and now here comes Goomster. Luz Andiamo has made the top clear by a length and a half, and here comes Goomster now making his move from the back of the pack and moving up, picking up 2, 3 positions, now getting the lead. 31 and 4 for the opening quarter. 31 and 4/5 seconds. It is Goomster. Dennis Gardner. Patience, patience, patience around that first turn. He saw there was a 3-wide battle, then a double-wide battle. He said, I'm not going to move for the lead until that all settles down, and that was a good strategy. Goomster now has made the top and leads it clear by 2 lengths as they're halfway home. Luz Andiamo second, Jammin' High third, and Sweet Baby Jacob is last of the 4. 102 and 3 for the first half mile, 102 and 3. Goomster is the leader, heading on to the backstretch. Leads it by 2.5 lengths, heading up the back straightaway after 5/8 of a mile. Luz Andiamo second, a length and a half. Jammin' High is third, then a gap of nearly 4 more lengths back to Sweet Baby Jacob, who is last of the 4. Quarter mile to go. Goomster is the one to catch and leads it by 2 lengths to the final turn. Luz Andiamo second. Jammin' High is still there, still third, and Sweet Baby Jacob at the back. 133 and 3, the time at the 3/4 mile mark. 133 and 3. Jammin' High broke stride on the final turn. Here comes a challenge for the lead. Luz Andiamo takes to the outside and comes after Goomster. Goomster on the inside, Luz Andiamo on the outside, and these two stride for stride down the stretch. Goomster, though, is going to turn back the challenge, and Goomster wins it by a length and a half. Luz Andiamo was home second. Sweet Baby Jacob was third. Jammin' High was fourth. So Goomster comes to the Downstate Classic. The schedule works out for Dennis Gardner to bring him to the Downstate Classic, and it pays off with a win here this evening at the Macon County Fair. We'll hear from Dennis in just a moment. Let's check the time for the mile. 2:03 and 2. 2:03 and 2/5. Goomster. From the Macon County Fair Board of Directors, Broderick Rowcliffe is trackside to assist with the trophy presentation to our winning connections here in Race 3. Our speed superintendent, board president for the Macon County Fair, and Downstate Classic president is Evan Hall. Downstate Classic board member Tina Schrock is trackside. This will be a popular win. That gentleman climbing off the race bike, your winning owner, trainer, driver, always has a good fan following. His name is Dennis Gardner, West Salem, Illinois. And he raises his right hand in victory and moves in for the winner's circle picture. Goomster has been on quite a roll here. And we talked about the fact that Dennis Gardner, it's been a while since he's won a Downstate Classic. He won this very race with pickup pole some 25 years ago. Let's see if Scott Beal can get a word with Dennis before he gets away.
Dennis, that's 5 wins in a row. All you do is keep winning here. When you were waiting to make your move there, when did you know it was the right time to make your move?
I just want him to all get settled over in a rail and try to keep him out of trouble.
I think that's a smart move, and it seemed like it was a winning strategy. Nice job, Dennis. Congratulations.
Hey, I want to tell you, you guys put on a very nice fair here.
And a very nice compliment from Dennis Gardner saying you all have a nice fair here in Macon County. Well, Dennis, thanks for racing with us in Macon County. That is Goomster. And there goes Tom Simmons warming up a horse in front of the stands. That's interesting to us because Tom was the driver of Pickup Pole, bred by our charter, Tom Shin, when Pickup Pole won the Downstate Classic here a number of years ago for owner-trainer Dennis Gardner. So 25 years in the making to get back to the Downstate Classic winner's circle, but Dennis gets the job done with Goomster here this evening. That is one fine trotter. The sire is Cassis, the dam, she's a muscle girl by Muscle Hill. Congratulations also to breeder Vern Miller. 8 wins, and as Scott said, 5 consecutive victories now for Goomster. Judge, are we official? Thank you, Randy Callahan. Here's the entire official order of finish for the third race. Jammin' High finished 4th. Sweet Baby Jacob was 3rd. Lose Andiamo, the runner-up, and Goomster was the winner. The quarter, 31-4. The half in 102-3. 3 quarters, 133 3/5. The time for the mile, 2:03 2. Rates down 4-3-2-1. 4th race is coming up. No changes in the 4th. 2nd division of the 3-year-old Colden Gelding Trot for the Downstate Classic. And once again, a purse of $8,279. Waiting for Tank Me to Dennyland, You Ain't No Fool, Shady Maple Isaac, and Twin Cedars All-Star. Each Downstate Classic winner this evening, the winning connections will receive a plaque. That will go to the breeder. The winning breeder gets a plaque. The winning owners get a trophy that is sculptured in the shape of a harness horse and driver. It's made out of pewter. It's mounted to a wood pedestal. And then there's also a blanket that goes to each winner as well. And Horseman, just a heads up, we'll do our best to get all those awards distributed when you come to the winner's circle, but we also know sometimes it gets a little chaotic, especially when you're trying to get back to the barn and you've got more horses to warm up. So if you don't pick up, if you don't think to grab that trophy, don't worry about it. Those trophies, those blankets, they'll be available in the racing office when we wrap up here this evening. We'll give you our next Pick a Winner champ in just a moment. In fact, here it is. The winner is Judd Pease. Judd Pease, you have won the latest Pick a Winner draw. Your $5 gift will be available below the grandstand at the grandstand bar down in the vendor area. I don't know if Judd is related to any of the Pease gang from Montgomery County around Nokomis, but some of us are old enough to remember when a guy by the name of Leonard Pease from Tower Hill and his brothers from the Nokomis area used to come here for the Demolition Derby, and they were tough. Leonard loved to run those old full-frame Chrysler Imperials, and he was a handful, and I think won the feature here a number of times back in the 70s. So Judd Pease, whether you're related to Leonard or not, congratulations. Good job picking the winner.
Kurt Becker doing a fine job with the announcing tonight. As we get ready for race 4, Take Me to the Dennyland, You Ain't No Fool, Shady Maple, and Twin Cedars All-Star. And that's our 4th race. The purse in this race is $82.79. $1,279. This is for 3-year-old colt gelding trots. And so the Downstate Classic continues with race 4. We're just one race short of being halfway through. 10 races on the card tonight for you in this contest. Steve Surratt, David Brink around, Lisa Surratt doing the camera work. And again, if you've noticed, if you've been with us for the first 3 broadcasts, every one of them changes, has its own unique quirk or challenge. And tonight is the fact that she's got a couple of things she's got to shoot around because there's no place to get around those things here. But we're just happy the people in every one of the fairs have been so helpful to help us, get set up, get things done and started the way we need to get them started. And so we appreciate that very, very, very much. And so with that, we'll get ready here for this next race. And I'll just put it up so you can see the action on the screen. But upcoming events, we'll be back here Saturday. And then, like I said, we've got some new events coming up that are not even on the calendar. You can help us advertise. Want to let you know that you can do that. If you've got a business, we can put your ad on.
From Evan Hall, who's over there in front of the grandstand, he says that Judd Pease has yet to claim his $5 at the bar. That's at the bar below the grandstand. Judd, just go to that bar below the grandstand and pick up your $5 for winning in that pick-a-winner draw. Folks, we talked about the fact that a number of members of the Macon County Fair Board of Directors are here this evening. They've done some amazing things here in recent years. Number one, they brought back harness racing, and then number two, they went out and they said, we want that Downstate Classic. It was born here, it belongs here, and they went out and they brought it back here. So if you like having the Downstate Classic at Decatur, let your fair board know how much you appreciate that, folks. Nice round of applause.
Again, you can advertise with us. Get a hold of David Brink at harnestube@gmail.com or give him a call, 312-772-5122. And also, don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow us on either YouTube or Facebook. Want to thank you for that. Now coming up next is one of our sponsors. We'll be back after that.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Jamal, your first ever Downstate Classic win there. Did you see that coming? They really opened at the top of the stretch. You were ready to make your move.
No, I didn't see it. It just unfolded like that. So it's Hornets race.
Sometimes you got to be in the right place at the right time, and you were in the right place at the right time. Excellent job. Pretty excited to get your first Downstate Classic race.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Congratulations, Jamal.
And thank you, Scott. Jamal Benson just played it cool, and he put that horse, as Scott said, in the right place at the right time. And when everybody else was breaking stride and having difficulty down the stretch, Jamal just carefully guided You Ain't No Fool through all of that was happening and all the way to the winner's circle. Congratulations to the connections, the breeder, Laverne J. Mast. The sire of that 3-year-old gelding is Don't Cheat on Me Now, out of Rayleigh Super Nice by Equinox B. First win of the season, 7th career win for You Ain't No Fool, who picked up 6 victories as a juvenile last year. We'll have the full field rundown for you in just a moment. Here is the full field rundown. It is official for race 4. From the top, Tank Me to Dennyland was the runner-up. You Ain't No Fool was the winner. Shady Maple Isaac finished 4th. Twin Cedars All-Star was 3rd. The opening quarter, 31-4. The half in 103-1. 3 quarters, 134-2. And the time for the mile, 2:04 and 3. Reads down 2:1-4-3. Brings us to race 5. First division of the Downstate Classic 3-year-old filly pace. There are no changes in race 5, a field of 7, waiting for those fillies to come to the track. And then we'll be ready to continue race 5 on the way.
Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you. We want to tell you that if you would like to give us a shout out, you can do that. In fact, we would encourage you to do that as part of your evening. Go to hornistube@gmail.com at gmail.com.
Steve, I'll tell you what, I'll step on you there because I've actually got one right here. Came in. I've got Brian and Deb Long from St. Elmo. They say they go to the Effingham County races and they're really enjoying the broadcast. They were helping us out with the technical.
You mean except for the technical difficulties,
well, hey,
like Steve forgetting to slide the button up?
Hey, that stuff's going to happen, and people like Brian and Deb are being super patient with us, and we really appreciate it. We're just happy to be doing this, and, we're going to clean it up the more we go. Every broadcast is getting better. I have a couple more shout-outs here. Let me get to my emails coming in. We had Dell Mollenhauer. Looks like Casey Leonard would be their top driver trainer. Watching from Jefferson, Wisconsin. Very surprised to hear that this is Casey's first Downstate Classic with all he's accomplished in harness racing in the state of Illinois. I remember when he and his brother Ross started driving at the fairs in Illinois and Wisconsin many, many years ago. And as old as Casey is, it was many years ago. I remember those days too, actually, when Ross and Casey were both banging around out here. A couple more coming in. We've got Paul Viritis was liked Goomster in race 3. I think everyone liked Goomster. That was an easy pick, I think. If you look at the sheet, that horse was by far and away the favorite. But I tell you, Danny Gardner did a great job taking care of the horse, taking care of his investment, one of the top trotters in the state. So that was an exciting race to watch. And then Corey Schwartz here, favorite memories from racing fairs. Favorite trainer looks like Kyle Husted. I know Kyle pretty well. He's a good guy, and he remembers sharing hot dogs with them at the state fair in Springfield when they were kids. So thanks for writing in, guys. Keep them coming. We'll get you on the air if we can, as soon as we can.
Okay, and we'll give our sponsors some things, and hopefully I'll bring the volume back up.
This or not, but I bet she does.
Turn
John
it
David Finn was the co-owner, and J.D. was actually the trainer-driver that day. But Leanne is right. As far as Dennis as an owner, 14 years since his last Downstate Classic victory, 25 years as far as his last win as a trainer and driver. A lot of great history with the Downstate Classic.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Back with you folks on Harness Tube. Glad that you could be part of it. Want to thank our volunteers who have kept things going on the social media and also filming things prior to Harness Tube getting started. Want to thank that list of volunteers out there that have done that. And Midwest Illinois Race Association and the schedule we have for them coming up. We've got 6 races coming up total for the year. We've already got 2 of those done. Anxious for about 4 of those. 3 of those at least are really close to home, David.
Yeah, I like that short haul, especially to Rushville. And the Mount Sterling one isn't so bad either with just open the stall door and race the horse.
And so, yeah, we're getting ready for race 6. And I know one of the things that I've decided to do away with is that full slide there that shows all the horse information, because even on my big 65-inch, 70-inch TV downstairs last night, I found when there's 6 or 7 horses on that, the print's really small. And, you know, bifocals from your recliner do not work well.
No, it doesn't give you a whole lot there. I mean, we're figuring this stuff out. Every shot's kind of changing. We're polishing it up, and we're just so happy to have Steve and Lisa here doing all this stuff. And you know, we're going to perfect these kind of little things as we go along, and just, I tell you what, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I got a couple more people shouting out. We got a couple writing in. Kenny Collier was telling Denny Gardner to do some stuff that probably isn't so air appropriate, but we can skip beyond that one. And
yeah, even though it's YouTube, but we don't want to put not appropriate stuff out here. This is a family show.
It wasn't awful, but just trying to be respectful here. Eric Plowman up in Keosauqua, Iowa. That guy used to be down here all the time racing, and he was a top trainer, a top young trainer at one time in the early 2000s. They're watching, they're cheering for us. They're having a blast up there in Keosauqua. So thanks for watching, Eric.
And so we're glad to be bringing this to you. We will tell you if you want to advertise. Easiest way to do that, send David Brink an email at harnesstube@gmail.com. That's the easiest way.
Any way, if you can get in contact with me, I will get you information. We're trying to get this thing to kind of pay for itself so we can stay free for everybody and kind of offer a service this way. And you know, every little bit helps, and the more ads we put in, the less you listen to us talk. And you know, we got
race
some
number 5, starters are out.
And we'd like to get some more ads going if you guys want to contact me. Now we're going to cut to our track announcer, Kurt Becker.
We'll meet the field in just a moment. Again, no changes for race 5, the first division of the Downstate Classic. 3-year-old filly Pace, a purse of $10,504. Want to take a moment and talk a little bit about the fact that that Macon County Fair Queen Pageant takes place coming up just a couple of hours from now here on the fairgrounds at the Decatur building. Starts at 7 p.m. And we mention that because we have noticed down trackside we have been joined for the last couple of trophy presentations by the reigning Miss Macon County Fair, who went on to be a top 15 contestant at the state pageant. There she is. Hello, Allison Stewart. Good to have Allison with us here this evening, and she will crown the new queen later on tonight. 7 contestants. And Allison, thanks for all you have done for the Macon County Fair. It's been great to have you represent us over the course of this past year. I hope you enjoy the races. Let's meet the starters. There's our parade marshal, Cassidy Tarter, leading the field of the post. Race 5, number 1 is Whiskey Tango, owned by Jim and Teresa Greer of Peoria, trained by Nick Prather. Travis Siegman is up. 2 is Lil Ms. Landshark, owned by Orion Phillips of Brookport, trained by Berlin Brower, the driver Richard Finn. 3, Ashley's Little Angel, owned by the Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, co-owned by the trainer Roshan Trigg of Brandon, Mississippi, the driver Jamal Denson. Number 4, Philly's Revenge, owned by Nan Turner of Argenta, trained by John Fletcher. The driver is Mike Rogers. 5, Senorita Mouse, owned by Benita Simmons of Springfield, trained by Tom Simmons, the driver Casey Leonard. 6, Major Rosita, owned by Carla Santos of Springfield, the trainer Dossie Minor, the driver Jordan Patton. 7, Rona May, owned by Hugh and Susan Lacey of Joplin, Missouri, trained by Ray Hanna, and the driver is Juan Franco. Headed to the starting gate. By the way, your track program tells you there is a past performance line to be announced for number 3, Ashley's Little Angel. She raced on June 5. That was on Monday at Oak Grove down in Kentucky. She was 7th, but she was in tough. Her beaten time was 1 minute 54 and 2/5 seconds. I mean, it's amazing how competitive that race meet is down in Kentucky at Oak Grove. You can pace a mile in 1:54 and 2 on that 5/8 mile track and finish 7th. But Ashley's Little Angel, by the way, she won the Downstate Classic 2-year-old filly Pace last year. So we'll see if she can repeat with a victory this evening now that she is a 3-year-old, and we'll see if Roshan Trigg and Jamal Denson can team up, go back-to-back on the card. They are at the post. The gate is rolling. Race 5 of our 10 races this evening. Again, the richest single day of county fair harness racing in Illinois history. Combined purses totaling $76,000, surpassing the record that was set last summer at the Effingham County Fair at Altamont when they had a Downstate Classic program with purses totaling around $63,000. So not only broke the record, but broke it with room to spare. 3-year-old pacing fillies lined up on the gate, ready to go. We score 6 wide here at the Macon County Fair. Rona May scores from the second tier, number 7. And they are off and pacing. Philly's Revenge grabs the racetrack, goes right out for the lead. Ashley's Lil Angel is right there to the inside, and these two go at it heading down into the first turn. Ashley's Lil Angel has the lead, and now Philly's Revenge drops over into second to get a good trip. She will sit in the pocket right behind the leader, heading up the backstretch toward the quarter-mile mark. Lil Ms. Landshark was parked around the first turn. Now she drops over to the inside lane in third. Whiskey Tango is racing in fourth. Rona May is fifth as they go single file. Major Rosita is in sixth, and Senorita Mouse is last of the seven. Ashley's Little Angel is the leader. Ashley's Little Angel leading Philly's Revenge by just a length. 29-4, the fastest opening quarter so far on the program. 29-4, Ashley's Little Angel, winner last year of the Downstate Classic on top. Here comes Rona May. Rona May first up in the outside lane and starts moving up now from fourth to third to second, and Rona May going to challenge for the lead. It is Ashley's Little Angel to the inside, Rona May to the outside, and they are stride for stride past the half. Philly's Revenge sitting right behind that pair to the inside in third. Lil Ms. Landshark is fourth. 59-3 for the half, 59 3/5 seconds. Major Rosita is fifth and moving up with cover around the outside of Whiskey Tango in sixth, and Senorita Mouse is last of the seven as they head toward the three-quarter. Ashley's Lil Angel to the inside and Rona May to the outside, and Philly's Revenge third behind that pair. A length and a half separates the top three with a quarter mile to go. Lil Ms. Landshark has lost some ground back and forth. She's now 7 lengths from the front. Ashley's Lil Angel, the leader. Philly's Revenge looking for racing room as they swing around the final turn. Let's see what she can do. The filly owned in Macon County. Philly's Revenge is second, but she's got to catch Ashley's Little Angel, who has the lead. Ashley's Little Angel by 2.5 lengths. Here they come. And down to the wire. It is Ashley's Little Angel. Philly's Revenge, a final try. Oh, that's close. That's a photo for the win. That is close. We are going to defer to our photo finish technician, Emma Schrock. What a horse race. What a finish. It will either be Ashley's Little Angel or Philly's Revenge. And one of those fillies in that photo was owned right here in Macon County. Stand by. We'll check the photo in a moment. The time for the mile was 1:59 flat. The three-quarters was 1:29, and the mile in 1:59 flat. We'll give you the result of the photo in just a moment.
We got the replay up for you, folks. If you want to watch it, we've already shown it once. We'll do it again. I don't know how many more times we can play it, but we've got it up there for you to kind of look, and you get to see the end and see what's going on here. It's a great finish to this race, and we're glad that we're able to do that.
Waiting for result of the photo between the three, Ashley's Little Angel, who was on the inside lane, and the four, Philly's Revenge, who was on the outside at the finish. Jamal Denson is hoping that he just won his second in a row. He is patiently waiting, and there's Mike Rogers with Philly's Revenge, owned in Macon County. It is a very tight photo, but our photo finish technician, Emma Schrock, says the winner by a very tight nose, maybe a flared nostril. Number 4, Philly's Revenge with Mike Rogers. Philly's Revenge, a 3-year-old filly by Revenge Shark out of Incredible Filly by Sagebrush. What a moment this is. Nan Turner, who resides here in Macon County, owns this filly. This is a homebred. And some of you might remember when Nan and trainer John Fletcher teamed up 10 years ago to win the Downstate Classic here at the Macon County Fair with that filly's mother. The first dam of that filly, incredible filly, won and set the stakes record on this very racetrack 10 years ago in a time of 158 flat. And the daughter in Filly's Revenge paces a very nice mile in 159. Just an incredible performance. And folks, Mike Rogers, he had it measured just right, did he not? Wins by a fraction of an inch. Filly's Revenge. The courtesy vehicle is on the way from the stable area. I know earlier this evening we saw Nan Turner watching from the draw gate where the horses enter and exit the track in the middle of that far turn on the west end of the racetrack. And here comes the courtesy car right now. Going to be some happy folks getting ready to enter the winner's circle. Again, John Fletcher is the trainer. And Filly's Revenge has just won for the 10th time in her career. Folks, it's always special to win at your home fair. And this is the home fair for Nan Turner. And then you add in the fact Nan has just won with a homebred filly. Nan has just won with a daughter of incredible filly who won this very race 10 years ago for Nan and trainer John Fletcher. The Downstate Classic. Can you imagine, folks, what this must mean to Nan Turner? The Downstate Classic returns to Macon County for the first time since the dam of this filly won here. It's been 10 years, an incredible set of circumstances, and Nan's filly gets up to win by a whisker on the wire. Nan Turner, John Fletcher, Mike Rogers, congratulations one and all. And let's see if Scott Beal can get a word with Nan Turner. I bet you Nan has got a smile. Let's get a word with Nan.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Nan, it's your home fair. You heard Kurt say that. It's got to be so exciting to win here in front of your home crowd.
Oh, it's a blast. We're so happy. She's just an amazing little horse.
And I don't know if you heard Kurt say it or not, but I'm sure you know it was 10 years ago this horse's mom won here at the Downstate Classic.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Folks, I don't know if you can see or not, but the smile on Nan's face is ear to ear. She couldn't be happier.
Oh, thank you so much.
Nan, we're glad. We're so happy for you. Congratulations to you and the connections of your Filly's Revenge there.
What a beautiful fair.
It is a beautiful fair and a beautiful day for it. Congratulations, Nan.
And thank you, Scott Beal. Nan Turner, the owner and breeder of Filly's Revenge. We'll have the full field rundown for you in just a moment. And the entire result, the entire order of finish is official for race 5. So here it is, the full field rundown from the top of the page. Whiskey Tango finished 5. Lil Ms. Landshark 4. Ashley's Little Angel, the runner-up. Filly's Revenge was the winner. Senorita Mouse 7. Major Rosita 6. Rona May finished 3. The opening quarter, 29 and 4. The opening half mile, 59 and 3. 3 quarters in 129, and the time for the mile, 159 flat, and it reads down 5:42:1763. The 6th race is coming up. A reminder, the driver for number 1, Some Dancing Star, is Richard Finn. Contrary to the program, the driver of the 1, Some Dancing Star, is Richard Finn, the 2nd division of the 3-year-old filly pace. Horsemen come to the track. Congratulations to Chuck Conway. He's our most recent winner in the Pick a Winner draw. Chuck Conway, good job picking Filly's Revenge, and as a result of that good selection, you have $5 coming your way. You may claim that prize below the grandstand in the vendor area at the grandstand bar. Also, we talked about the hat contest this evening. And we told you there would be an anonymous judge circulating through the grandstand. Every lady in the stand wearing a hat automatically was entered tonight. There is a gift basket that goes to the winner of the Derby hat contest. That is courtesy of our friends at Murphy Company. And the winner is Kathy Byerly. Kathy Byerly, well done. Congratulations. You have won the hat contest. You get the gift basket from Murphy Company. And that gift basket can be claimed in the Macon County Fair office. A lot of fun, a lot of festivities. Folks, we're glad to have you with us as we move now to the second half of the card. Race 6 coming up in just a few moments.
Back with you, Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you, and want to thank all of you for viewing or watching this event, and that several of you have been with us for the first 3 inaugural events here. Again, we will be back here Saturday at 11 a.m. post time. But again, we want to talk to you about advertising and being a part of this. And the best way to get rid of me talking about this is to buy an ad. So call David Brink at 312-772-5122. As you can see, we're getting better, more professional at what we do as we go through this. Yes, there's going to be continual mistakes. Fortunate for the big guys is that they've got this 10-second delay or whatever in the truck so that they can, shuffle things around. Want a big shout out, David, to my wife. I mean, she is the person that works the hardest at this. I get to sit up here and just punch stuff into a computer and try to move some knobs, but she's on top of every race out there. And right out of the gate, she had 15 races the first night that we were there. 13 tonight's an easy thing for her. It's only 10 tonight.
Yeah, and a nice cool breeze too. And Lisa's doing a great job. I can't thank her enough. She jumped into the fire feet first with this. And grabbed that tripod, and you know what? We're learning on the fly, and I think tonight's broadcast, she's cleaned it up. It looks like it looks great. I'm so tickled pink to watch this thing.
Well, and again, we're learning some things. I think ground level, other than some obstacles, is a better, easier to run the camera with.
You're going to run into different obstacles in the infield, but yeah, when we get shots like this with a nice low infield where you can see across the backstretch, man, it looks great.
Our first one at Carrollton, we were up in the crow's nest, and the hard part for that is you've got this down view, but you have to lower and raise the camera up as you go, whereas she's kind of on the same level here for you guys watching, saying, well, why is it different? It's different because there's less mechanicals, and she can get smooth as you can see, of following the horses. But a big shout out to her. She's actually the person that's ears perked up first when David Brink brought the idea of putting harness tube and doing this and going to county fairs. As she grew up, and people, you can send an email to David Brink, harnestube@gmail.com. She grew up as a kid. I won't say how old she is, but it's been a number of years. She just retired, I'll just tell you that. And their family vacations were going to county fairs. And so she's been around county fairs all of her life.
As a horse kid, we didn't have vacations per se. That was the same thing. We hopped in the truck and trailer, and we went to all the county fairs and raced. It was a treat if we got to spend a night somewhere and swim in a hotel pool or all those fun things that kids get to do when they travel. So, but the core memories were under the trees, in the barn, hanging out.
Do you sleep in the horse trailer at all in some of these cases?
I can tell you I have many times. We used to have an outfit. We had a truck with a fifth wheel. We threw a mattress up there, air conditioner. I think we had a PlayStation 2 up there at one time.
Wow.
We stayed at DeCoin for a whole week, and the brothers Bowen, Butch, Doug, and I were having a good time between the barns down there. So, yeah, we slept in that thing a couple times.
And so we're just glad that you could be on again. Help us out with the advertising, harnesstube@gmail.com. The other thing is, send us a message there. Where you're watching from. We're interested in where people are watching this from, and maybe who your favorite driver, trainer, or horse is. The other thing for me, because it's the fair, the thing I love about the fair, not only harness racing, and I can't do it so much now that I'm broadcasting, but my idea is setting up in the stands with a lot of fair food and drink in front of me and watching horses run. That's a perfect evening for me.
Late driver change here in race 6. Please note that number 7 Incredible Lorraine. The driver is Rick Schrock. Trainer Rick Schrock will also drive number 7, Incredible Lorraine. And as we say that, Incredible Lorraine comes to the track. Starters are out.
Indispensable.
Another 5-digit purse on the line here, $10,504. Race 6, second division of the Downstate Classic, 3-year-old filly pace for Illinois conceived and foaled performers. Our parade marshal Cassidy Tarter of Canton aboard Lena leads the field to the post. Let's meet the starters. Number 1, Some Dancing Star, owned by the Joel Benson Stables Incorporated of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and owned also by Edward Linsky of Seagirt, New Jersey, trained by Jimmy Molitor, contrary to the program, the driver Richard Finn. Number 2, 1R Andy Starr, owned by the 1R Standardbred Farm of Rushville of Anna, Gerald, and Pamela Bunch. The trainer is Nick Prather, the driver Travis Seekman. Number 3, Dandy's Spice Girl, is owned by Steve Searle of Grant Park, Brian Code of Bradford, James Ellinger of Peoria, Gretchen Barnett of San Diego, California. The trainer is Steve Searle, the driver Wyatt Avenatti. Number 4, Fox Valley Kia. She is your reigning champion, Illinois-bred 2-year-old pacing filly from 2022, owned by Julie Collins of Bullhead City, Arizona, trained and driven by Phil Knox. 5 is Keen Kathy, owned by Jay DeLong of Clinton, Wisconsin, trained by Terry Leonard, his son Casey Leonard in the bike. 6 is Southgate Sally, owned by Blake and Jeff Driscoll of Carrollton. Mark and Karen Walker of Carrollton, trained by Mark Walker. The driver is Jamaica Patton. And number 7, Incredible Lorraine, owned by the Three's a Crowd stable of Cantrell of Jody Peacock, Allison McGrew, and Norm Thompson, trained by Rick Schrock. And a reminder, Rick Schrock is also the driver. Headed to the gate here in race 6. We talked about the fact that number 4, Fox Valley Kia, was the champion 2-year-old pacing filly for all of Illinois last year. She did not race in the Downstate Classic last year because she was in Chicago on Downstate Classic weekend. So when we were racing at the Logan County Fair at Lincoln in the Downstate Classic, Fox Valley Kia was racing in a stakes race that same weekend at Hawthorne Racecourse and did not make it to the Downstate. But good to have her in the lineup here this year at 3. Number 6, Southgate Sally. That filly's going to line up on the far outside on the front tier on the gate. She's been on a roll. She's won 2 in a row. She's got speed. And we talked to trainer Mark Walker and said, what do you do from the far outside? Do you go to the lead? Do you try to clear all that inside traffic? Is that what you tell your driver, Jamaica Patton? Or do you tell Jamaica to settle back and try to just drop to the back of the pack and save energy early on? Mark shook his head. He said, Jamaica knows what to do, and what Jamaica's going to do, he will react to the circumstance. When that race starts, he will size it up. So Jamaica Patton driving the 6, he in particular has a lot on his mind as they head to the gate, and he will have to alertly pay attention to what's going on to his left with those other 5 horses lining up in the front tier, and he will have to make a decision. It is decision time for Jamaica. With Southgate Sally, do I press the accelerator and go for the lead and try to dispose of all that inside traffic, or do I let this filly drop to the back of the pack and make a move later in the race? We're about to find out the answer. They are at the post. The gate is rolling. 3-year-old pacing fillies, the Downstate Classic at the Macon County Fair. Here they come. And several horses have scattered behind the gate. A couple of horses off stride, and starter Mitch Titus has signaled for a recall. As the starting gate came past the stands, one could hear starter Mitch Titus, who has a public address system with speakers mounted atop that gate, telling the drivers recall. And there are a number of situations listed in the rule book by the Illinois Racing Board and the U.S. Trotting Association under which a starter can call for a recall, which just means we're going to regroup for another try at the start. And I'm going to say it's interference. Is that correct? Yeah, probably in this case interference. Sometimes it can be a horse that's lined up in the wrong starting position. Sometimes it's a case of broken equipment. Sometimes it's a case of good old-fashioned interference. Folks, the next race I drive will be my first, and As someone that grew up in this sport, a lot of us have marveled over the years at how harness drivers do what they do. Those tracks, if you ever have taken a spin on a race bike behind a horse around a racetrack, you would be surprised at how narrow that racetrack can seem. They don't have a lot of room to maneuver. So alertly, the starter happened to notice, probably in this situation, there was interference behind the gate, a horse possibly drifting into a different lane and causing a situation that warranted the recall. The good news is everybody's on their feet, headed back toward the west end of the track, and we're just about set for another try at the start.
While we have a moment here, I want to grab a couple of shout-outs. One specifically, we have Linda Hedges watching. It's Julie Collins' mom, the owner of Fox Valley Kia. And
it looked like conversing with some of the racing officials here in the judges' stand that what happened in that prior attempt at the start, number 4 Fox Valley Kia, the 5 Keen Kathy, the 6 Southgate Sally were all involved in the situation. It was a chain reaction of sorts. Fox Valley Kia, she was very keyed up and full of energy, and it looked as though that despite the best efforts of veteran horseman Phil Knox to keep her in a straight line, that she drifted to the right into Keen Kathy, who in turn then drifted into the 6 Southgate Sally. In fact, Phil is now climbing off the race bike of number 4 at the top of the home stretch, and they are making some equipment adjustments with Fox Valley Kia before we line up and give it another go here in race number 6. It's a good reminder. We talked about the fact that Fox Valley Kia was the champion 2-year-old pacing filly for all of Illinois last year. That doesn't always mean that these horses, it's not just a case of, hey, guess what? Phil got lucky and swerved into a good horse. No, Phil has a good horse with a lot of talent, but horses are not machines. They have got their own mind. They've got their own attitude. They've got their own mindset. So in this case, with Phil being both the trainer and the driver, he no doubt knows what the challenges are with Fox Valley Kia. He and some assistants there in the barn area on the perimeter of the far turn have just made those equipment adjustments. Hopefully Fox Valley Kia will now be a little more comfortable, a little more relaxed, and we will try once again for the start here in race 6.
And we're back. We have that second shout out to get before we go to this race, and we have Jimmy Austin from Pawnee, Illinois. Jimmy was the judge last night at Carlinville and did a great job, and I want to give him a shout out watching us and keep me on my toes over here for sure. But thanks for watching, guys.
How competitive have the races been so far this evening here in the Downstate Classic at the Macon County Fair? Well, we have 5 in the books. No trainer has scored more than 1 win. No driver has scored more than 1 win. No breeder, no owner, no sire has more than 1 winner. Folks, it has been competitive, but that's what you expect. You throw this kind of money out there, you throw out record purses for a single program, the most in the history of Illinois County Fair racing. You put more than $75,000 on the table, you're going to pull in some excellent horses, excellent stables, and that's exactly why this program has been so competitive. No one at this point stepping forward to dominate. Once again, we are at the post, gates rolling. Mitch Titus, our starter, has the field over at the west end of the track. Here they come. They are often pacing. There goes Some Dancing Star out for the early lead. 1R Andy Star is there, and Fox Valley Kia fires out as well. They are 3 wide contesting the lead. What's Jamaica Patton going to do? He's going to back off into the first turn, and now Southgate Sally is off stride. Southgate Sally is on a break. In the meantime, the 3-way battle for the lead continues on the backstretch. 1R Andy Star is still side by side with Some Dancing Star. 1R Andy Star gets a narrow lead past the quarter. Fox Valley Kia backs away into third. She's 3.5 lengths from the front. A gap of 6 back to Incredible Lorraine, who's in fourth. 27 flat. They blaze the opening quarter, and those top 2 fillies went eyeball to eyeball all the way. 1R Andy Star and Some Dancing Star, and now here comes Fox Valley Kia. Phil Knox moving up on the outside with her from third. A gap of 7 more lengths back to Incredible Lorraine in 4th. Dandy Spice Girl is in 5th. Keen Kathy is 6th, and Southgate Sally 7th, a dozen lengths off the lead. 55 and 4. An incredible pace here in race 6. 55 and 4/5 seconds by better than 3 full seconds. The fastest opening half mile thus far on the program. 1R Andy Star is the leader. Some Dancing Star is second. They're separated by 1.5 lengths. Fox Valley Kia's lost ground. Incredible Lorraine moves by her. She's third. She's still 7 lengths from the lead though. And then comes Keen Kathy back in the 5th position as they move on to the final turn. 126 and 2, the time at the 3 quarters. 126 and 2. 1R Andy Star leading Some Dancing Star by 2 lengths as they turn for home. Gap of 3, Incredible Lorraine third. 2 more to Keen Kathy in 4th. 1R Andy Star trying to gut it out all the way on the front end. Keen Kathy's coming fast. Keen Kathy on the far outside, coming after 1R Andy Star. Down to the line, Keen Kathy, yes! Yes, Keen Kathy, what a rally. Down the stretch, Casey Leonard knew that those fillies up front had been setting a torrid pace. So what does he do? When they turn for home, he puts Keen Kathy out on the far outside and turns her loose and just says, do your thing. And she rallies and wins by a length on the line, Keen Kathy. 158 and 4, 1 minute, 58 and 4/5 seconds. Our fair president and Downstate Classic president and speed superintendent Evan Hall trackside. Broderick Rowcliffe from the Macon County Fair Board of Directors is trackside. Our retiring queen, Allison Stewart, giving the crowd a wave. All getting ready for the presentation in the winner's circle of the blanket and the trophies and the plaques for the 6th race, the 2nd division of the 3-year-old filly pace. Folks, Keen Kathy was a filly that was so far back after 5/8 of a mile, she looked hopelessly out of it. But that really fast pace up front, you knew that at some point those horses up front were going to have to get tired, and I have a feeling Casey Leonard has driven enough races. I'm going to guess Casey didn't need me or anybody else to tell him that, and made that nice move on the far outside down the stretch. How about a hand for number 5, Keen Kathy? Congratulations to owner breeder Jay DeLong of Clinton, Wisconsin. Casey Leonard's dad, Terry, is the trainer. World of Rock and Roll, the sire of this filly. Out of Keen Cat by Always a Virgin. This filly did not even race as a juvenile, and she's now won 2 of 3 this year. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Casey Leonard. I bet he's got more. Casey told you earlier, he said, I've got a horse in almost every race, and he's got another one coming up, Scott. So, Scott, how about a word with Evan Hall, since you've got Evan down trackside? Let's hear from our Macon County Fair and Downstate Classic president.
Indeed, folks, this is Evan Hall, your Macon County Fair president. Evan, how do you think the day is going so far?
Well, we're just thrilled to be back in the action for the Downstate Classic. It's been a long 10 years. This is something that, fortunately, our board has taken to heart. And, they not only do they want to have good racing here in Macon County, but we want to try to revive Illinois horse racing for standardbreds as well. And so that's why we did the fundraising that we were able to do, fortunately. And we're pretty proud of it today and hope you guys enjoy it. So.
Well, I think the crowd is having a good time. I'm sure the horsemen are having a good time with that record-setting purse. Biggest purse in Illinois County Fair history. That's great. And, folks, Evan puts on a lot of work, not just during Fair Week. All year, he and the entire Fair Board, I know he really hustles. He wants to make the Macon County Fair as good as it can be. How about a big hand for your Fair president, ladies and gentlemen? Evan, thank you.
And thank you, Scott. And again, our thanks to Decatur Convention and Visitors Bureau, the presenting sponsor for tonight's races. So many folks chipping in, like Scott referenced, and as Evan mentioned, making this fair and this program tonight possible. A reminder, Debbie's Diner and the Macon County Fair Association providing that free meal for owners, trainers, drivers, and caretakers in the stable area. So thank you, one and all. By the way, our thanks also to representatives of the Illinois Department of Agriculture who are on hand in the stable area tonight, and they will be doing random post-race testing in the interest of the integrity of the sport, testing for the presence of PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs. We don't expect any issues, but it's good to have the folks from the IDOA here just to kind of say, hey, we are watching. That never hurts. Here's the full field rundown. It is official for race 6. From the top, Some Dancing Star finished 4th. 1R Andy Star was 3rd. Dandy Spice Girl finished 7. Fox Valley Kia was 6. Keen Kathy, the winner. Southgate Sally, 5. Incredible Lorraine, the runner-up. The opening quarter, 27 flat. The first half mile, 55 and 4/5 seconds. 3 quarters, 126 and 2. And the time for the mile, 1 minute, 58 and 4/5 seconds. It reads down 4:37, 6:15, 2. 7th race is on the way. First division of the Downstate Classic 3-year-old colt and gelding pace for a purse of just over $9,400. No changes to report in race 7.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate. We've changed the way the business works. Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you. David, we've had great racing tonight. I mean, if you're not a horseman, boy, I tell you what, the racing that we're seeing tonight would make you a horseman really fast.
Steve, I can't. I mean, that last race, I'm still flabbergasted. That opening quarter, 27 flat. That's quick for, I mean, top level horses at big tracks. You know, that's a really fast quarter. And to do it out here on a county fair half mile, 3 across the track. Wow, what an exciting race.
Well, and I tell you what, you can tell you've been watching horse racing a long time because I told you on the backstretch in that first lap, this was going to be under 30. I mean, this was going to be this.
They blew it away.
27 blew me away. That
Blew it
was
away.
faster than race 5, which was 29.4, which was the fastest quarter.
27 on a county fair is unheard of. I mean, that is unreal.
Is it one of the Taser horses that has the Mount Sterling record? What is it, 201 for the mile?
Taser and Mount Sterling Taser gun did have the record. It was 153 and 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was later broke, though, by a horse named, if I can only imagine, a driver named Brandon Simpson. Lowered it to 151 and 1.
At a county fair?
At a county fair. I mean,
yeah.
I think that was the second fastest county fair in the nation at the time, and probably still up there towards the top.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. And like I said, folks, once you go, it is addicting. And if you come, they have this thing where you can pick the horse and you win like $5, or you get $5 in food coupons.
Yep.
There's lots of different ways that you can do it. You can do this at home. Have a watch party. I mean, we're going some places. If you're in Mount Sterling, you're probably not going to drive all the way up to Cambridge or down to Martinsville. That might not be your thing. So guess what? Have a watch party at your house. Set up fix some fair food.
Yes, follow the circuit all along
some cheese
summer.
curds. Hot dogs,
lemonade shake-ups, corn dogs,
and
nachos.
then when it's in Rushville and Mount Sterling, hop in, go to the races, folks. It's like anything else. There's nothing better than live unless you're watching the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. In person there, this is different. This is, for me, there's nothing like going to, for me, high school sports or junior high. There's nothing more pure. We're getting ready, actually on Friday, we're going up to Peoria to see the Peoria Chiefs play. And it's pure, and it happens to be Yadier Molina Bubblehead Day.
Well, that's just nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
the ruining part is my son's going to that game to get that, so I usually go to get those things to give him things for Christmas. Now I'm going to have to figure out what else I'm going to get him for Christmas.
Out of pocket for something new, I guess, huh?
Yeah, but then they're calling to the post, and we'll let Kurt Becker take over from this point.
Race 7 in your scorecard for a purse of $9,429. It is the first division of the Downstate Classic. 3-year-old Colt and gelding pace, no changes. Parade Marshal Cassidy Tarter leads the field of the post. Let's meet the starters. Number 1, Brian's Rockin' Dog, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City down in Effingham County. Trained by Cornelius Cabot, the driver Freddie Patton Jr. 2, Reserve Parking, owned, trained, and driven by Justin Robertson of Galesburg and co-owned by Lori Van Fleet of Galesburg. 3 is Fox Valley Steeler, a horse who is coming off a victory on the big 1-mile track at Springfield in 152 and 2. He's got a high gear, folks. Owned by Ann Schneider of Petersburg, James Walden of Lincoln, Carl Lacey of Springfield, Benita Simmons of Springfield, trained by Tom Simmons, Casey Leonard in the bike. 4 is Midnight Chrome, coming off a win at the Macoupin County Fair, or rather the Greene County Fair in Carrollton, in a good mile, 2:01 and 3 over that half-mile track. Owned by Kevin and Alan Miller of Arthur, trained by Kevin Miller, the driver, Wyatt Avenetti. 5 is Fox Valley Falcon, owned by Peter Uribe of Moline, Danny Clark of Mineral Point, Wisconsin, Benita Simmons of Springfield, Illinois, trained by Tom Simmons, the driver, Mike Rogers. And number 6, Fox Valley McKee, owned by the Fox Valley Standardbreds of Sherman of Dr. Kenneth and Patricia Walker, owned also by former Illinois Governor Jim Edgar of Springfield, the trainer Nelson Willis, and the driver is Juan Franco. Headed to the gate, race 7. Very special moment, no doubt, for co-owner and trainer Kevin Miller of Arthur as he considers the Macon County Fair his home fair. He is the co-owner and trainer of number 4, Midnight Chrome. He is a first cousin to Irvin and Andy Miller, two horsemen who grew up in the Arthur area and now are based on the East Coast and among the leaders in this sport as trainers and drivers. And Kevin has told us he remembers coming here years ago to watch his cousins compete at the Macon County Fair. Fox Valley Steeler, folks, this horse is fast, but he's never raced on a half-mile track. He's got to find a place to put all that speed, so we'll see if he can handle the tighter turns on a half-mile track today. Here they come, race 7, 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pace in the Downstate Classic. They are off and pacing. There goes Fox Valley Steeler for the lead. There goes Midnight Chrome, and arguably the two favorites start trading punches immediately as they leave the starting gate. It is Fox Valley Steeler who has the lead 3/4 of a length. Midnight Chrome is parked all the way around the first turn in second. Brian's Rockin' Dog is right there toward the inside, a close third. And then Fox Valley Falcon, who's racing in fourth, a break of 6 lengths to reserve parking, who travels in fifth. And Fox Valley McKee moves up 1 spot from sixth. It is Fox Valley Steeler leading at a length and a half. Midnight Chrome now right at the quarter found room to drop over along the inside lane of the racetrack. 28-4. Honest pace here early on. 28 and 4/5 seconds. Fox Valley Steeler is on top and leads it by a length and a half. Midnight Chrome is second by 2 lengths. Brian's Rockin' Dog is third. Fox Valley Falcon racing in the 4th position. Then Fox Valley McKee, and then a break of 6 lengths more back to reserved parking and last. Halfway home here in race 7. First division of the Downstate Classic. 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pace with Fox Valley Steeler leading it for Casey Leonard. 58 flat for the first half mile, 58 seconds flat. Fox Valley Steeler trying to give Leonard his 3rd win on the card. Midnight Chrome travels along in the 2nd position, though, and is still right there. After 5/8 of a mile, Brian's Rockin' Dog is 3rd. Fox Valley Falcon is in 4th. Fox Valley McKee is 5th. Margin of nearly 10 more lengths back. Reserve parking is last of the 6th. There's a 1/4 mile to go, and toward the setting sun goes Fox Valley Steeler, and he's opening up. He's got it by 3. 127 and 4 at the 3/4. He's got it by 4. Fox Valley Steeler, top of the lane. He's got it by 5. Midnight Chrome is 2nd. And then a gap of 7 more lengths back to Fox Valley Falcon in 3rd. Final 16th. We knew this horse was fast. Could he handle the tighter turns on a half-mile track? The answer, an emphatic yes. Fox Valley Steeler with Casey Leonard. The whip just tucked across his right shoulder. He never asked that pacer for a thing. Wins it by 7 lengths on the line. Midnight Chrome, a very talented horse, was home in 2nd position, and then it was Fox Valley Falcon in 3rd. The time for the mile has just tied the fastest mile in the history of the Downstate Classic, 156 and 2, Fox Valley Steeler. .156 and 2/5. The stakes record for the 3-year-old colt and gelding Pace was set here at Decatur at the Macon County Fair back in 2007 by a horse named All Is Said and Done that was trained by Irv Miller and driven by Brent Holland. And now today, the all-time fastest Downstate Classic mile is tied in 156 and 2/5 with that win by Fox Valley Steeler. We'll meet the winner in just a moment. Fox Valley Steeler, owned by Ann Schneider of Petersburg, James Walden of Lincoln, Carl Lacey of Springfield, Benita Simmons of Springfield, trained by Tom Simmons and driven by Casey Leonard, who's now got back-to-back wins and 3 wins total on the card, and tying the fastest mile in the history of the Downstate Classic. How about a hand for Fox Valley Steeler? There's Dr. Brian Kennedy, the farm manager for Fox Valley Standardbreds, Walker Standardbreds in Sherman, who bred this Some Star Somewhere gelding in partnership with the James and Tracy Walker stable. Handshakes and congratulations and trophies and plaques and hugs and a lot of smiles down trackside. Trainer Tom Simmons standing at the head of this horse. Fox Valley Steeler from the first crop by the reigning Illinois Stallion of the Year, Pacing Stallion of the Year, Some Star Somewhere, out of Roll with Josie by Roll with Joe. A $55,000 yearling purchase. You know this colt looked good when he came in the ring. Let's see if we can get a word with Tom Simmons. He's standing down trackside with our Scott Beal.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Tom, you might have heard Kurt say, we knew this horse was fast, but it was the first time on a half-mile track. Did that concern you at all coming into today's race?
No, not too much. He trains on a half, there at Springfield, so he's kind of used to it a little bit.
Well, he sure acted like it wasn't his first time. He blistered a pacer right around the track today.
He's a little bit wild, gets on the bit a little bit, but Casey drove him and knows him pretty well, so he gets along with him good.
That's right. Casey clearly knows what he's doing. 2 wins in a row for Casey, 3 on the day today. Brought one home for you. That is fantastic. Congratulations, Tom. Good luck.
That is winning trainer Tom Simmons. Thank you, Scott. Tom, originally out of Odessa, Missouri, home of the I-70 Speedway, and has been based in Springfield, Illinois for many, many years. He and wife Benita campaigning one of the top stables in Illinois year in and year out. 6th career win for Fox Valley Steeler. And you heard Tom Simmons tell Scott, he said the fact that this colt trains on a half-mile track helped prepare him for today. That's the great thing about that Illinois State Fairgrounds. You've got the 1-mile track, and then you've got the all-weather surface on the half-mile track. So it's not just the big track. If you train at Springfield, you've got the benefit. You can train on any size track you want. We'll give you the full field rundown in just a moment, and we will play Pick a Winner coming up here shortly as well. And here is the full field rundown for race 7. From the top, Brian's Rockin' Dog finished 5. Reserved Parking finished 6. Fox Valley Steeler, the winner. Midnight Chrome was the runner-up. Fox Valley Falcon was 3rd, and Fox Valley McKee was 4th. The quarter, 28 and 4. The half in 58 seconds flat. 3 quarters, 127 and 4, the mile in 156 and 2, and it reads down 5-6-1, 2, 3, 4. No one really close and no one pressing Fox Valley Steeler down the stretch. We mentioned the fact Casey Leonard sat chilly in the race bike, never touched him with the whip, and he still ties the fastest mile in Downstate Classic history. That was quite a performance. Race 8 is coming up. 2nd division of the 3-year-old colt and gelding pace. No changes in race 8.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information. Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
David, we want to thank the volunteers that have streamed this and done a lot of the Facebook and media things since 2020. And all that really started with COVID. And trying to keep people connected during that time, and we appreciate that. You can see the list on the screen. That's large, and I would imagine there's more people that we could give thanks to than even that, their contributions during that time.
Absolutely. I went through we have a Facebook group, Illinois County Fair Harness Racing Facebook group with like 2,000
By the
members.
way, we should have mentioned the pick-a-winner draw. Mary Jo Noonan. Congratulations, Mary Jo Noonan. You win the $5 prize for picking Fox Valley Steeler. We drew your name, and you may claim your prize at the grandstand bar located in the vendor area just below the grandstand.
Keep waiting for him to draw my name on that, David.
I have never had luck with pick a winner. As long as I've been doing this sport, I can't do it.
Even when Brown County had parimutuel betting, Lisa and I never really did it. We've always done the thing. We get our book. She writes her numbers down. I write my numbers down, and we just have the friendly bet back and forth on that.
Personally, I just love the sport so much. When we had parimutuel at Mount Sterling, I never gambled a whole lot. My only claim to fame, I was in Chicago for work one night, went to the track up there and sat down at the picnic table and met a family. And they're like, "Oh, you race horses?" I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of know everyone here." I was kind of giving them the walkthrough. And I called the next race, the trifecta, the 1, 2, 3. And by gosh, if it didn't come in. And they
of course, you didn't have $1 on the race.
Exactly. It was their money. It was their $20 bill. And I think they brought home 280 some. And so the next race, I gave them again. And sure enough, I called in the next race too and got 1, 2, 3 trifecta, and they were like $400 up. And I closed my program, excused myself, and never went back.
Hey, the thing I want to tell people is not only on the harness racing side of things, but on the county fair side of things, folks.
Yes.
This is a dying breed that needs to stay alive. It's good, pure family entertainment. Your kids can come watch rides. There is demolition derbies. There are tractor pulls. There are harness racing, all these things that
Steve,
you can do with your family.
I cannot agree more. I'm a county fair kid through and through. Obviously, on my dad's side, we've been racing horses for generations. But on my mom's side, my grandfather, Jack Heyer, was actually the president of the Adams County Fair over in Quincy or Mendon area. So, and they showed cattle, they showed shorthorns, and so I've been on county fairs every summer since I was old enough to walk around.
Yeah, and absolutely. But when we were down in Carlinville last night, Lisa was talking to a friend that she knows down there.
Starters are out.
And one of the things we found out, they pulled their travel trailer. They're there for the whole week in their trailer to be at the fair to donate their time.
Horses are on the track for race 8, the second division of the Downstate Classic, 3-year-old colt and gelding pace. There are no changes in this 8th race. Just got a text from someone saying, "Hey, you ought to mention the folks from Harness Tube." Oddly enough, we did 2 or 3 or 4 times earlier this evening, but we agree it's worth mentioning them again. We do appreciate the folks from Harness Tube being here this evening. They've got a Facebook page, and of course they've got their channel on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com, and if you in the search field just enter Harness Tube, you can not only pull up and watch the races live here this evening, you can do that again on Saturday. They will have live coverage beginning at 11 a.m. Central from the Macon County Fair. And then what I love is the fact that footage is archived. If you don't have time to sit down and watch it live, you can go back and watch it later at your convenience. Great to have Harness Tube covering several fairs this summer. I think they just added the Martinsville Agricultural Fair coming up later this month. They're going to have live coverage of Martinsville and the Great Midwest Trot and Great Midwest Pace. So a lot of great coverage on the way. Let's meet the starters for race 8. Number 1 is Foxman, owned by Brian Lohman of Broadlands and Kevin Miller of Arthur, trained by Kevin Miller. The driver is Wyatt Avenetti. 2 is Fox Valley Presley, owned by Herbert Anderson of Sherrard, Brent Johnson of New Windsor, Dan Miller of Arcola, Benita Simmons of Springfield, trained by Tom Simmons, Mike Rogers in the bike. 3, Deputy Dog, winner in the Downstate Classic as a 2-year-old last year at the Logan County Fair, owned by Dietrich Kelly of Canton, Mississippi, trained and driven by Jamaica Patton. 4, Cage Daniel, owned by Shelley Graham of Salem, trained by Tom Graham Jr., the driver Juan Franco. 5 is Fox Valley Cayman, owned by Carl Lacey of Springfield, James Cravens of Buffalo, Benita Simmons of Springfield, trained by Tom Simmons, and the driver is Casey Leonard. 6 is Shark Solicitor, owned by the Flacco family farms of Alexis, of Dr. Richard and Arlene Flacco and Rick and Tabby Flacco, and co-owned by the trainer Jim Molitor of Chicago. The driver Travis Seekman headed to the gate, race 8.
Did somebody say mention harness tube?
Yes. Little jest
If
up
you do
here in the
anything,
judges'
give
stand.
my wife credit, Lisa Surratt, for running the camera. She doesn't. She's the person working the hardest.
Horseman, this reminder, when we are finished racing this evening, if you could return your saddle pad numbers to the area where you picked them up earlier today. I know the racing office staff always appreciates that very, very much. It eliminates them having to go through the barn area and search from barn to barn and shed row to shed row. So if you could return those saddle pad numbers at the end of the day, we would appreciate that very, very much. Getting ready for race 8, the final Downstate Classic race of the day. Then we have a couple of races coming up to wrap up the card that are sponsored by the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association, all part of a record day of purses for Illinois County Fair Racing. $76,000 up for grabs altogether for these 10 combined races here today. And it's been great to have you with us, folks. Don't forget the Queen Pageant coming up. It'll be getting underway in about an hour from now or so at the Decatur building. Allison Stewart will crown the new Miss Macon County. Again, it's good to have Allison with us here today at the races, helping with the trophy presentations down track side. Field is lining up for the start over on the backstretch. You know, speaking of harness tube, I think we've talked about Steve Surratt, and I think we've mentioned David Brink. I don't know that we've mentioned Steve's wife, Lisa, because Lisa Surratt is the individual who's been manning the camera and bringing all of those great video shots to you live on YouTube. So, Lisa, thank you. And there she is, giving everybody a wave right near the finish line down in front of the grandstand. Harness tube with live coverage, and right now, at the post, gates rolling, race 8. They come. They are off and pacing. There goes Foxman out for the early lead. Fox Valley Presley gets away in second. Deputy Dog comes away in third as that field thunders down into the first turn. Fox Valley Cayman quickly settles toward the center of the pack in fourth. Cage Daniel is in fifth, and Shark Solicitor last of the sixth. They go single file off the first turn and up the back straightaway, moving from east to west here at the Macon County Fair, and Foxman is the leader. Foxman leads it by just 1 length as they go by the quarter, and here is Fox Valley Presley, who's off stride. Fox Valley Presley made a break and a heads-up move by Mike Rogers to get that horse clear of trouble, and a heads-up move by everybody else behind him to go outside or inside to avoid the breaking horse. 31 flat for the opening quarter, 31 seconds flat. And here comes Casey Leonard now. He's got Fox Valley Cayman gearing up. Casey Leonard says, enough of all this traffic I'm dealing with. It's time to go. And here's Fox Valley Cayman clearing that traffic, and now right alongside of leader Foxman, who still leads it along the inside lane by a half length. Deputy Dog is drafting in behind the leader in third, flanked there by Fox Valley Presley to the outside in fourth. Shark Solicitor fifth, and Cage Daniel sixth. They were at the half in a minute flat. A minute flat for the first half mile. Still side by side for the lead. It's Foxman to the inside. It's Fox Valley Cayman on the outside. They are nose and nose, eyeball to eyeball with a quarter mile to go. What a race unfolding to the final turn. Deputy Dog is toward the inside behind that front pair in third, and then Fox Valley Presley is fourth.
130 and 2.
130 and 2 fifths. 130 and 2. Foxman is the leader. Fox Valley Cayman is second. Deputy Dog, Jamaica Patton has his hands full of horse, can't find any racetrack. He's looking inside, he's looking outside. Here comes Cage Daniel steaming down the center of the track. It's wide open. Cage Daniel, grandstand side. Cage Daniel rallies up to win by 3/4 of a length. It'll be a multiple horse photo to separate second, third, and fourth. You had Deputy Dog moving late along the inside lane. You also had Foxman and Fox Valley Cayman, all of those horses in the photo for second. But Cage Daniel, Juan Franco, with that breathtaking move on the far outside to win it.
159 and 4.
In 1:59 and 4. 1 minute 59 and 4/5 seconds. time for the mile, 1:59.4. Cage Daniel winning race 8, owned by Shelley Graham of Salem, trained by her husband, Tom Graham Jr., known as Buzz, who climbs off the courtesy vehicle and gets ready to head into the winner's circle. And his late mother, Carol Graham, bred Cage Daniel. This is a 3-year-old gelded son of Revenge Shark out of Star Treks Graham by dictionary. And Juan Franco, the winning driver, Juan, a native of Guatemala, who came to the United States many years ago and began working in the thoroughbred business in California before finding his way to Chicago. He began by working as a caretaker, rubbing horses, standard breds on the Chicago circuit, and one day somebody said, you know, have you ever thought about getting a license to drive racehorses? And Juan said, no, I'd never thought about it. But Nelson Willis kind of gave Juan some guidance in that direction and encouraged him to become a harness driver, and that's why Juan Franco wears colors, maroon, gray, and white, that are very similar to the colors worn over the years by Nelson Willis. Folks, this might get the award for the sentimental favorite of the day. I bet a lot of you here today remember in the 1970s when the Graham stable of Salem would win a lot of those Illinois Stallion Stakes races that we used to have here back in the 70s and early 80s. This is truly a family tradition. The surname Graham winning major races at the Macon County Fair. This brings back a lot of memories, no doubt, for a lot of folks. How about a hand for number 4, Cage Daniel? And there is the winner's circle photo. Again, our thanks to Broderick Rowcliffe and Evan Hall and the whole gang down trackside, congratulating the Graham family. Again, Shelley of Salem, the owner, her husband, Buzz, the trainer, as Cage Daniel wins for just the 3rd time in 16 career starts. That is Tom Graham Jr., Buzz, at the head of this horse. By the way, our winner's circle photographer, thank you to Denise Titus of Charleston. And we'll see here if we can get a word with either Buzz Graham or Juan Franco, one or the other down trackside. I know that Buzz has kind of got his hands full at the moment, trying to put the overcheck back in place. And now that's all done, taken care of, and Cage Daniel gets ready to head back to the stable area. Let's see if Scott Beal can catch a word with Buzz Graham.
Thank you very much. Buzz, you might have heard Kurt say your dad, your uncle won a lot of races here at Macon County. It makes it even more special to win here on this track, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I love this place. I've been here since I was, well, my daughter's 5, so I remember being here when I was her age.
And I'm sure it's good to win anywhere, but it's even more important to win. Help carry your family tradition on in racing. As Kurt said, the Graham name is very synonymous with harness racing here, and I know you are proud to carry that on.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Congratulations. Good luck to you. Thank you, folks.
And thank you, Scott. Congratulations to the Graham family stable from Salem, Illinois, down in Marion County. And here is the full field rundown. It is official for race 8. From the top, Foxman finished 4th. Fox Valley Presley finished 5. Deputy Dog, 3. Cage Daniel, the winner. Fox Valley Cayman was the runner-up. Shark Solicitor finished 6. They got the quarter in 31 flat, the half in a minute flat, 3/4 in 1:30 and 2/5, and the time for the mile, 1:59 and 4. It reads 4-5-3-1-2-6. 9th race is on the way. This will be the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association race for pacing fillies and mares age 3 and up. And while the last 2 races are not officially downstate classic races, what's fun about it is we get to see some former downstate classic champions in this 9th race. Number 1, Double Parked, won the downstate classic as a 2-year-old in 2019 at the Logan County Fair in Lincoln. Number 5, Roland Roz, is a former downstate classic winner as well, winning just last year as a 3-year-old. A couple of missing past performance lines which are to be announced, so let's go ahead and share those with you now. Number 4, Candy's Fortune, raced on Monday at Oak Grove in Kentucky at the Parimutuel track. Finished 8th, but had a beaten time of 1:56 and 4. And number 5, Roland Ross, raced at Oak Grove on Sunday afternoon and finished 3rd with a beaten time of 1:54 and 3. Race number 9 on the way. And by the way, congratulations on the pick-a-winner draw to Linda Humphreys. Linda Humphreys, you have won $5. Your $5 prize is available below the grandstand. Just swing on by the grandstand bar in the vendor area. $5, Linda Humphreys. Race 9 coming up.
Back with you, Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you as Kurt's going to take a break here for a moment. Want to let you know about advertising on that. We've had inquiries. Why aren't you coming to our county fair? Well, guess what? You need to call David Brink and talk to him. We'll see if we're already booked and what it'll take for us to come down there. Cars take gasoline, and the equipment we have is fairly expensive equipment. I'll just let you know the camera we have is a $1,500 camera. And so,
Absolutely.
and we've got 2 of those just in case we have problems with one. And so we bring double sets of equipment out for us, and I hope you're enjoying it as we learn. We've done some replay stuff on this one where we can get almost a full minute of replay for you. And I wish I'd had that in that really close race earlier. But we're talking availability when we're up here in the judges' stand like we are. The possibility of us throwing a monitor up and being able to play that replay for them so that they can see what's going on.
Yeah, it's going real great. I'm tickled. I can't express how excited I am. Everything's going so well. I'm so blessed. You guys have talk about expenses. I am not and could not pay you guys what you're worth. I mean, unless they bring in wheelbarrows of gold or something, because
thank you.
I could never have done this. I mean that sincerely. You guys are doing all the heavy lifting. I'm just kind of pointing the boat a little bit.
I want to ask you to subscribe, to follow, like. If you're watching, please hit that subscribe button.
Race 9, the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association race for pacing fillies and mares age 3 and older. There are no changes. Field of 5 as programmed. Cassidy Tarter, our parade marshal, again a recent graduate of the University of Illinois Veterinary School. And it's good to have her visiting us from Canton, serving as our parade marshal aboard her quarter horse, Lena. Let's meet the starters for race 9. Number 1, former Downstate Classic champion, double parked, owned and trained by Kevin Miller of Arthur, the driver Wyatt Avenetti. 2, I Wanna Rock and Roll, owned by the Three's a Crowd stable of Jody Peacock, Allison McGrew, and Norm Thompson. That stable based in Cantrell. Trainer is Rick Schrock, the driver Casey Leonard. Number 3, Bombay Parkway, is owned by Doug and Alan Bowen of Mount Sterling, by Ron Cox of Huntsville, Deborah Jones of Mount Sterling. The trainer is Alan Bowen, the driver Doug Bowen. Number 4, Candy's Fortune, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City, trained by Cornelius Cavett, the driver Denarius Dortch. Number 5 is Roland Ross, owned by Eric and Rosalind Janes of McGee, Mississippi. The trainer Roshan Trigg, Jamal Denson in the bike, headed to the gate here. Race 9 as the sun continues to set beyond the far turn. Folks, there's been some incredible racing. We've had at least 2 photo finishes for the win. We had 1 race decided by a nose. We've had the all-time fastest mile for the Downstate Classic tied. Have you had a good time this evening at the races? Well, that's what we like to hear. It's good to have you with us, and don't forget, we've still got race 9, race 10, and then we're back here Saturday morning at 11 for the Illinois Big Ten Colt Stakes.
Folks, a lot of things going on at the fair. Shout out to my Mount Sterling people. Hey, you can come over Saturday to the Macon County Fair, and you can watch harness racing at 11 o'clock. And we just heard there's 15
races scheduled.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, you're going to have to give me that paperwork so I can I can get all the side stuff done. But we're cutting back on some of that work, finding out things that don't work. But guess what? You can stay after that and watch an ITPA tractor pull, and I'm pretty sure Mark Roberts will be over here in that tractor pull, and
how cool is that?
And I'm losing my name for Tony will be over here, but there'll be several people that you probably know that will be at the Mount Sterling Fair pulling. So guess what? Double dip for the day. Come over, watch the race on Saturday.
At the post, gates rolling, race 9. Our starter, Mitch Titus. At the wheel of the starting gate, Jerry Young bringing this field down at about 30 miles per hour for the start. Here they come. They are off and pacing, and there goes Double Parked, firing out for the early lead. I Want to Rock and Roll gets away in second position. Candy's Fortune comes out racing in third. Roland Roz is away in fourth, and Bombay Parkway last of the 5 as they swing around that first turn, about 9 lengths from front to back, and Double Parked is the leader. Double Parked leads it by 4 lengths, heading onto the backstretch. I Want to Rock and Roll now starts to cut into that margin and moves up a closer second. Now it's 3 lengths separating the top 2, a gap of 2 more. Back to Candy's Fortune, who travels along in that third position. And then it's Roland Roz as they move by the quarter. Bombay Parkway last. 29 flat. Good opening quarter. 29 seconds flat. And Double Parked is the leader for Wyatt Avenatti out of Chrisman, Illinois. Double Parked, a 3-length lead after 3/8 of a mile. I Want to Rock and Roll goes second. Candy's Fortune still travels in that third position. Roland Roz is patiently waiting back and forth. No one stepping out of line just yet. And Bombay Parkway now is caught up with the other 4. So just a length between each position. 59 flat for the first half mile. 59 flat. Back onto the east side of the course they go, swinging around the turn. Double Parked is the leader. Now Roland Roz is setting sail. Here comes Roland Roz, and the 2 former Downstate Classic champions are battling for the lead here at the Macon County Fair at the midpoint of the backstretch. Double Parked to the inside. Roland Roz is there on the outside. They're separated by a head, going by the 3/4. I Want to Rock and Roll is in third. Candy's Fortune is fourth, and Bombay Parkway is fifth. 129 flat, the time at the 3/4. 129 flat. Roland Roz up on the outside has the lead, 3/4 of a length. And then Double Parked, who's trying to fight back, but she's now in second position. I Want to Rock and Roll. Candy's Fortune come next, and then Bombay Parkway is last. It is Roland Roz trying to hang on in deep stretch. She's got a narrow lead. Candy's Fortune, I Want to Rock and Roll right there. And it's Candy's Fortune who gets through for the win. Candy's Fortune, in the closing strides from between horses, snuck through and put her head in front on the wire. What an incredible finish. All 5 of those pacing fillies and mares were in contention in the final 16th of a mile. Candy's Fortune pulls one out of the fire. 1:59 and 1. 1 minute, 59 and 1/5 seconds. Candy's Fortune and Denarius Dortch. Good to have Brenda Watson visiting us from the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association. Brenda helps head up the Legislative Liaison Division and also Public Relations for the IHHA on the Illinois County and State Fair circuits each year. Makes her home in Fairfield, Illinois, down in Wayne County. Has owned and bred a number of standard breds herself, and she chats with Evan Hall down trackside. And Candy's Fortune, that was quite a nifty move. In those final strides, practically all 5 horses were lined up across the track and in contention. You want to talk about the old phrase, thread the needle through traffic. I would say Denarius Dortch did just that. He managed to thread the needle, and he gets there in front. How about a hand for number 4, Candy's Fortune? Congratulations to owners Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City down in Effingham County. And let's see if Scott Beal, there's Candy Herzog, winning co-owner in the green shirt. And she is standing by. There's Denarius Dortch. Let's see if we can get a word with Denarius Dortch, our winning driver.
Denarius, I won't keep you very long, buddy, but that was pretty tight there at the end. What were you thinking coming through that?
I was just trying to get up out of there.
Yeah, well, you did the right move at the right time. See you later.
And indeed, he managed to get through there just in time. And that's one of those things, folks. If you're a harness horse driver, again, the next race I drive will be my first. But when you see that opening, you've got a split second to make a decision. You either have to go or decide against it in a fleeting second. And Denarius decided he had just enough room, and bam, shot on through for the victory. Congratulations, Brian and Candy Herzog, breeder Flacco Family Farms of Alexis, the winning mare trained by Cornelius Cavett, driven by Denarius Dortch. She's a 5-year-old daughter of Ryan in Hanover out of Landis Taylor by Fort Apache. Hanover, 20th career victory for Candy's Fortune. Full field rundown coming up. And here is the full field rundown. It's official for race 9. Double Parked finished 4. I Wanna Rock and Roll finished 3. Bombay Parkway 5. Candy's Fortune was the winner, and Roland Roz the runner-up. They got the quarter in 29 seconds. They got the half in 59. 3/4 in 1:29 flat, and the time for the mile 1:59 and 1. And it reads down 4:35. 1-2. The 10th and final race coming up, the Colton Gelding division of the Illinois Harness Horsemen's race for pacers age 3 and older. No changes in race 10. Don't forget the Queen Pageant coming up at the top of the hour, about 22 minutes from right now at 7 o'clock over at the Decatur building. And again, this year there are 7 contestants. Our retiring queen is Allison Stewart. She will crown the new Miss Macon County later on this evening. And again, more harness racing here. 15 races, folks, on Saturday. So come out and join us. It starts at 11 a.m. Central. If you cannot be here in person, join us online with Harness Tube, as they will have live coverage. Again, our thanks to Steve Surratt and to David Brink and also to Lisa Surratt. They've done a great job, and it's good to have them. First year, that's a brand new enterprise, and it's great. We appreciate the coverage that they are giving to Illinois County Fair Racing. 10th race coming up.
Back with you as we get ready for the last race, 10th and final race today. Steve Surratt, David Brink, and Lisa on the camera tonight. We appreciate all the work she does. We want to thank our donors that have kept this free on Facebook. And you can be a donor also by simply going to a Venmo account and sending the money to @HarnessTube. Or how about PayPal? PayPal for us old people that use PayPal @HarnessTube. Or guess what? If you're even older and you like to just send a check in the mail, P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, Illinois, 62353 to David Brink. We're trying to do as many county fairs as we can. We got to cover our cost, and actually we need to do more than cover our costs so that we can continue doing this because of equipment changes and things that happen. David, I've been broadcasting via YouTube now for 5 years. January we'll have our 1,000th game that we broadcast for Brown County in 5 years. So we do almost 200 ball games a year.
Christine Kissel, winner of the $5 Pick-A-Winner draw. Christine, you get a $5 prize. You can claim that prize below the grandstand at the grandstand bar down in the vendor area. As we get ready to head toward our 10th and final race of the program, On behalf of our speed superintendent and both Downstate Classic and Macon County Fair Board President Evan Hall, first of all, thank you to you, the fans and the horsemen, for making this program possible. Our thanks also to our racing office administrator and clerk of the course, Leanne Shin. Randy Callahan has been your presiding judge this evening. Our charter is Tom Shin.
You getting
Our
that
timer,
static?
Pete Skeffington, stepping into that role this evening, doing a great job. Mitch Titus, our starter. Jerry Young assisting him as the driver of the starting gate. Photo finish technician tonight has been Emma Schrock. Denise Titus, our winner's circle photographer. Scott Beal, our winner's circle MC. The track crew, big thanks. Buddy and Jim Hanna, Leroy Moyer. Big thank you to Kevin Bird and his crew. What a job the track crew has done. This racetrack, it's well banked, it's wide, it's long been regarded as one of the best on the Illinois Fair circuit, and thanks to those who help keep it that way. Boggs Audio of Waverly, Illinois, Brian Boggs and his staff. Our thanks to Miles, who's our audio technician here this evening. And again, Harness Tube with our live stream. Catch them on YouTube in the search field. Just enter Harness Tube. Go back, and not only can you go home tonight and watch the replays of the races, you'll be able to see replays from Macoupin County, which just raced last night, and the Greene County Fair at Carrollton that raced last week. And again, our thanks to Cassidy Tarter. She's been our parade marshal here this evening, and she just rode by the judges' stand and said, horses are on the track, starters are out. We appreciate the heads up from Casey Tarter. Indeed, the horses are on the track for the 10th and final race. Folks, don't forget tonight's race is brought to you by the Decatur Convention and Visitors Bureau. Check them out online. A lot of great things happening here in the greater Decatur area, and one of them is this 167th Macon County Fair and the return of the Downstate Classic. Let's meet the starters for the 10th and final race this evening. Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association race for Illinois-bred pacers, colts and geldings age 3 and up. Number 1, Arcadia Sportacular, owned by the Threes, a crowd stable of Cantrell, of Jody Peacock, Allison McGrew, and Norm Thompson, trained by Rick Schrock, the driver, Casey Leonard. 2 is Fox Valley B Gump, owned and trained by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Wyatt Evanetti, and the bike. 3, Smooth and Creamy, owned by Freddie Patton Sr. of Clinton, Mississippi, the trainer, Cornelius Cavett. The driver is also Cornelius Cavett. And number 4, Josie Rocks My World, owned by Janet Betley of Wright City, Missouri. The trainer is Nick Prather, and the driver is Travis Seekman. Horsemen, again, if you would be so kind as to return your saddle pad numbers to the area where you picked them up earlier today, we would appreciate your help with that. Thanks again to Debbie's Diner and the Macon County Fair Association providing the free meal in the stable area for owners, trainers, drivers, and caretakers here this evening. It has been quite a successful return for the Downstate Classic to the Macon County Fair. Folks, we talked about it when we first began at 4 o'clock this evening with the first race. The Downstate Classic was born here. It was inaugurated here way back in 1992. And Evan Hall and the entire Macon County Fair Board, partnering with sponsors here in the greater Decatur area, they went out and they said, we want that race, we want it back, we believe it belongs at the Macon County Fair. Evan, I can't imagine the work and the planning. I know it has taken several years, not only to bring back racing, but to bring back the Downstate Classic. The horsemen appreciate this so much. The racing fans appreciate it. Evan, to you and the whole gang, a big thank you.
Back with you. We got some upcoming events we want to let you know as we do some housekeeping here before we go off the air today. This is the 10th race, and at the end of that, we will go off the air shortly after the winner's circle is done. We'll do a few commercials, but we'll be back here on Saturday. 15 races on Saturday. Post time 11 o'clock. Great racing. Tractor pull that you can come to for Brown County people. Local guys running over here. Tony McMullen and Mark Roberts, and I don't know if Neil Roberts is something that this runs in or not.
At the post, here they come. 10th and final race on the card. Richest day of racing in Illinois County Fair history. Folks, been great to have you be part of it with us. Race number 10, they are off and pacing in the nightcap, and there goes Fox Valley B Gump right out for the early lead. Arcadia Sportacular gets away in second. Smooth and Creamy comes out racing in third, and Josie Rocks My World in fourth, and Fox Valley B Gump is rolling on. He has already opened up on a 10-length lead by the time he completes the opening eighth of a mile. Midpoint of the backstretch, Wyatt Avenatti leaning back in the race bike and trying to get Fox Valley B Gump to rate some of that speed of his. The lead is some 7 lengths. There goes Josie Rocks My World moving from fourth to third to second, and Josie Rocks My World starting to chase down the leader. 29 flat, opening quarter and 29 flat, good solid pace here in the finale. But Josie Rocks My World is catching up to Fox Valley B Gump, and the lead now is down to 2 lengths. Part of that is Josie Rocks My World making that move around that far turn on the west end of the track, and part of that is Wyatt Avenatti continuing to ask Fox Valley B Gump to be patient here and save some energy with that lead. Then you've got Arcadia Sportacular back in third, and Smooth and Creamy is fourth. 59 flat for the first half mile, 59 flat. Back to the east side of the course we go. Fox Valley B Gump is the leader. 28 times this horse has been a winner in his career, but Josie Rocks My World is right there behind the leader. And then there's a gap of 4 more lengths back to Arcadia Sportacular in third, and Smooth and Creamy is fourth, just over a quarter mile to go. And into the sunset goes Fox Valley B Gump to bring down the curtain on the richest day of racing in Illinois County Fair history. Leads it off 3/4 in 129 flat. 3/4 in 129, but here's Josie Rocks My World around the far turn, and here comes another challenge at the top of the stretch. Josie Rocks My World again coming after the leader. Again and again, Josie Rocks My World trying to wear down Fox Valley B Gump, and Josie Rocks My World has moved by and is clear with the lead. A well-timed move by Travis Siekman in the red, gray, and white colors. Josie Rocks My World gets up to win it by 3 lengths. Fox Valley B Gump, after setting the tempo, was second. Arcadia Sportacular was third, and Smooth and Creamy was fourth. 1:58 and 1 was the time for the mile. 1:58 and 1/5. We'll meet the winner. We'll do the final pick-a-winner draw coming up. And we can tell you with race 10, the final race in the books, what a competitive day. No trainer with more than 1 win on the day. No owner with more than 1 win on the day. No breeder with more than 1 win on the day. The only repeat winners we had today, Casey Leonard led all drivers with 3 victories, and Revenge Shark led all sires, siring 2 winners. Folks, that is a competitive card. We'll meet the final winner in just a moment. Card. So both World of Rock and Roll and Revenge Shark sire 2 winners on the day. A.R. Sissy by Incredible Finale, the dam of that filly. In fact, I think they called that mare R. Sissy, if I remember correctly. The dam of Josie Rocks My World. Nice performance. Hadn't made a purse start since September 29th. Let's get a word with our winning driver, Travis Siekman.
Travis, you were in second almost the whole way there. How did you know it was the right time to make the move at the end?
I could see Wyatt was chasing his horse pretty good up there, and my horse swelled up, so I said, yeah, I might as well take a shot instead of getting stuck in the 2-hole, and it worked out.
Indeed, it did work out. Nice job today. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
That is Travis Seekman, our winning driver, and Travis likes things that go fast. He's a big NASCAR fan. He was down at Talladega taking in the action just a few weeks ago as a race fan. We'll give you the full field rundown. We'll give you the winner of the final pick-a-winner draw in just a moment. Our thanks again to the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com. Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you with a little closing here. Great day of racing indicator at the Macon County Fair.
Wow.
Boy, I never saw so many.
That was amazing racing.
Yeah, the
today.
times today were unbelievable.
And close finishes and competitive races, and what you would call maybe a long shot winning here and there. Great day of racing.
Looking for more of that on Saturday. Make your way over to the Macon County Fair in Decatur. You take the exit next to a Pilot. Is it Pilot out here?
Don't ask me how to get here.
I can't remember.
I'm the one who got lost.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were driving around the parking lot.
I thought
somewhere.
the barn was in the first turn, not the last. I turned around.
But we're glad to be here. Lisa and I'll be back, and again, they've got all kinds of things going. Support your county fairs, folks. It's good, fun entertainment. If you got grandkids, teach them what their parents are not teaching them. Take them to the fair, what you grew up on. But for Steve Surratt, David Brink, we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of our donors, all those people that make this, to keep this free. Again, contact David Brink on harnesstube@gmail.com if you're interested in helping out. Thank you, and God bless.